Welcome. Oh, that's maybe a bit loud. Oh, also, I should probably change the lighting in here. God, I didn't think. I keep forgetting this stuff. The lighting. It's important. Turn that off. Turn this off. Okay, turn this light on. As you can tell, my dear friends, my dear viewers, my dear chatters, we put some smooth jazz on. I was thinking that always having rain or beach noises, while nice, it gets very repetitive. At least with music, even though it will be with smooth jazz, it might be, especially royalty-free smooth jazz, there might be some, repetitiveness in the rhythm, but at least, it's a bit different. It can build an atmosphere just as well as the other two did. So, I'm not on the screen. Why am I not on the screen? Webcam. Let's see here. Well, here I am. And you know how this works. Put this over here, put this a little bit further down. Henry's over there now. Put him a bit closer this time. And last but not least, the window didn't capture, of course, needs to capture the SCP foundation. And that needs to be off. Don't look at my download. I don't like it when you look at me downloads. Okay. Now, let me just make sure that people have seen the notification. I think some people have. Also, I should ask her if she's okay. She had a stomach bug, so you're feeling better? I wonder, because right now this light here, if I did this, it would be like extremely bright towards my face, right? So I'm pointing it at the wall, which is white, and the refraction of the wall is directing it more to the left side. So Henry is definitely more illuminated, and I don't want my face to be too illuminated. But I wonder if I should aim it upwards to the ceiling, if that has like a better effect. Like if the light would then like go up and then down again. Might as well give it a shot, eh? Might as well give it a shot. Let's see if I can actually do it. So if we move this like that. There we go. Steady. And then move this like that. Luckily the base is super heavy so that I can like not, fall off. Now it's aiming at the ceiling. How does that look? Damn, this from the webcam it looks actually like. So I like it because the light is a lot more distributed, much nicer distributed and much more spreading out to all of us. From the webcam angle, it almost looks like, of course, now that I pulled up this here, pure brightness from the computer as well. But from webcam angle, it does look like the normal ceiling lights are used, which is not the case. But speaking of which, can I? color space. What does this do? That's not changing much. I just want to like reduce some stuff real quick. Here, configure videos. Configure the video, yeah. Can I? I see. I can definitely reduce. Default. Black and white. That is kind of fun. Oh, that's way too much. Default again. I like a bit of a darker contrast, especially for like the SCP series. The darker contrast looks kind of nice. Whoa. The white balance is set on automatic. I can't change anything else to automatic. Only the white balance apparently. Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm gonna play with this another time because right now I should definitely get started with SCP reading. Shall we, Henry? Oh, you're so far away from me, my friend. Okay, here we go. After a while, I'm gonna get myself some lemonade that I got from my food today, and some water as well. Because lemonade, while delicious, will definitely not hydrate me the way I want to or need to be. So, I don't know why smooth jazz makes me feel like I need to talk in a deeper voice, like just like a bit more cadence, a bit more slower paced, which is probably good because you know, I always end up reading way too fast, and then I make mistakes when I read. So maybe smooth jazz will help that out. Who knows? Dust Embodied is the first one we got to go through. Already in the upper hundreds. Okay, no. I guess the average rating of SCP would be 300, because some of them reach over 300, and some of them of course have 1,000, and a lot of them also have below 100. So I would say the average is like 200 to 300. So this is like a smack in the middle. Like it's good. It's good. Is it great? Who knows? At the end, depends on how much fun we have with it. System notice Overseer 6. 5 items require your attention. It is considered safe. Special containment procedures. 1 instance of SCP-910 is to be stored within inside O1's critical information storage unit. By the way, I now realize it. As you people on YouTube, you might not know this if you don't watch my stream. 2 streams ago, well, 2 days ago, one of my closest friends like texted me in absolute disarray, and I didn't know that until like almost an hour later. Luckily, she still had time to talk, and yeah, she needed to hear it. She needed to talk anyway, so I'm gonna have my WhatsApp on, and if I ever get a single message of her saying like I need to talk again, or I need you to listen to me a little bit because this is bothering me, then I might have to just call this a very short stream/video. So I hope you understand. 1 instance of SCP-910 is to be stored within inside O1's critical information storage unit. Personnel with level 4 clearance and access to a Project Pear Blossom 11 may request supervised viewings of the CISO-held copy of SCP-910. I need to ask somebody to like check if the volume is good. I'm gonna ask my friend because I want to know if the smooth jazz is too loud or not. Can you do me a favor and check if the music on my stream is too loud or not? There we go. MTF ETA 82 ink counts is to monitor rare book auctions and online marketplaces for instances of SCP-910. Sampling surveys of bookstores worldwide will be conducted by Foundation AI OU Bibliophage, which is further to direct Foundation Internet travelers in the that's not travelers, that's trawlers in the detection and removal of all information pertaining to SCP-910. All copies of SCP-910 are to be destroyed. I forgot to guess what this is, so I don't know. I don't know anything yet. So dust embodied. It could just be that if it's physical dust that we can see, but embodied. So maybe each dust, that cannot be because it's safe. I was about to say each dust particle has its mind of its own, but it can't be. It's a safe thing. So, and also did say AI, so it must be something with the computer. I already messed this up. All copies of SCP-910 are to be destroyed following the retrieval and processing, except in the event that the Foundation held. Where's my thing to wipe my glasses? Oh well. Except in the event that the Foundation held archival copy has been damaged. In cases where peaceful acquisition of an instance has been deemed impossible, MTF ETA 82 is to ensure the destruction under 14 ultraviolet engagement parameters. There it is. I remember where it was, and it is actually right here. System Notice Overseer 6 items require your attention. So it looks like it's something that throughout making this entry has changed. Has changed the SCP a little bit. Alright, I'm drunk and at the party, but I can have a check. Who else? She can check for me. Oh well, I will find somebody soon to check. There we go. Description: SCP. Oh, she answered actually. Let me see here. Okay. Thank you. Enjoy your party. In the middle of a party, let me just check this Twitch stream out real quick. Don't mind me, people. People just looking at you like, are you seriously watching a live stream while at a party? It's like, yeah, listen. This is some good stuff. Alright, enjoy your party. I'm sorry for asking. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. SCP-910 is an 156-page book titled Organizational Symbology, New Tools for the Oldest Craft, which describes method to transform mundane organization into anomalous entities for use in thaumaturgic rituals. See that? I did not expect that with the name Dust Embodied. Approximately 20 copies of SCP-910 have been printed yearly since 1955 by the Pen and Brook Scrapworks, GOI 154. The author is listed as Erin Amadi, whose biographical summary describes as a thaumaturgist and an amateur botanist living in Hell, Michigan. Why is that a thing that we have? Why are certain places called Hell? I feel like, especially in America, isn't there like a part in Manhattan that's called Hell's Kitchen? Is that actually a thing, or is that just in Daredevil? area. It is. It is called Hell's Gate. Why? That is such a weird concept to me. Like, I think it's dope. I think it sounds badass. But I don't know. Something about like, I don't know. It just seems odd. Maybe because like I was used to the idea that a lot of Catholics or like hardcore Catholics come from America, which is not true, of course. Depending on like hardcore Catholics exist everywhere, wherever Catholic people can or are allowed to exist. And with that I mean that certain other countries maybe don't allow Christianity as a religion. So at the end, I mean, in Switzerland we have this one guy who constantly, almost like bi-weekly, comes by in front of the church, because my apartment's right in front of the church, so he always has to go around yelling about like what God's plan, well, not really God's plan, like he basically recites the whole goddamn Bible, or at least parts that mean something to him and should change us to become Catholic. And he always comes by and he always yells around. Nobody gives two shits. But he always does it. And people are getting frustrated. People are calling the police on him because it's like he's loud and obnoxious. So yeah. Approximately 20 copies of SB 910 have been printed yearly since 1955 by the pen. Oh yeah, no other records of this individual have been located. The body of SB 910 text details the principle that groups of humans organized according to specific principles can fill roles in thaumaturgic rituals traditionally held by biological or mineral components. For example, an organization may feel the need for a physical circle that would otherwise be drawn in chalk or blood. I have a feeling she wants to like check out my stream, and she doesn't just remember my name anymore. Yeah. Here. 7 of the books, 9 chapters depict different. Wait, did I read the whole thing? Yes. 7 of the books, 9 chapters depict different structures of organizations, outlining each through a combination of thaumaturgic jargon and elaborate metaphors. The presentation of ritual construction and execution throughout the book bears similarities to the theories of the Three River School, which emphasizes the need for balance of power across spell systems. And we have short chapter list. So we have, what is this? Is this another SCP or is it? Yes, it is. Okay, we don't need to read that one. I wonder if chapter 1, 2, and then 4 till 9 will become SCPs themselves, or not. Ah, God. It happened again. I bit my cheek too hard and now there's like a bit of flesh hanging off. Like there's clearly like like a bite mark inside my cheek. That happened. I wonder if I'm the only one with that sort of problem when I bite my cheek. Am I the only one who bites my cheek and actually like tears pieces off of it? So here we have Chapter 1, Introduction to Organizational Symbology. Chapter 2, The Populace as Shifting Moon. Chapter 3, The Firm as Rune Circle. Chapter 4, The Lawkeepers as Burning Candle. Chapter 5, The Rebellion as Sacrificial Dagger. Chapter 6, The Imperial Edifice as Bound Goat. Chapter 7, The Church as Grey Ash. Chapter 8, The Learned as Twined Focus. Chapter 9, In Conclusion, The Future. Tests of SCP-910 have produced varied results. Organizations structured in accordance with Chapters 3, 7, and 8 generated significant anomalous effects. Organizations structured in accordance with Chapters 2 and 6 generated minor and inconsistent anomalous effects. The contents of Chapter 5 and 4... I literally just switched them. Chapter 4 and 5... What the hell? Why is reading SCPs doing that to my brain where I switch 5 and 4 for some reason? Produced no discernible results during testing. On average, the organization generating the strongest anomalous effects produced the largest improvement in the results of related thaumaturgic rituals. System notice Overseer 6, 7 items require your attention. So yeah, it just keeps exploding, keeps going on and on. Addendum A, text samples. Oh, okay. So we have a text sample from some chat. Oh, there's more. And that's that's fascinating. We'll see what this has to do. What this does. Chapter 1, Corvid, Assailable, Octavian, Aubergine, Penumbra, Rutinu, Effigy, Dissymmetry. Chapter 1, Introduction to Organizational Symbology. It is the first impulse of the initiated to deny others a seat at the feast of power. Such is the impetus behind grand initiation, suffocation or breathing, secret passphrases and hidden libraries. We rightly believe that this knowledge should be kept from the grasp of the greedy and ignorant. However, such thinking lends itself to separation and stagnation, suffocation, no breathing. We convince ourselves that we... What if that is actually part of one of chapter 1? Chapter 1, suffocation, no breathing, don't give a fuck. We convince ourselves that we have... that what we have is all that we need, and that any change only serves to dilute centuries of study. This is by no means correct. How many of us take the phone lines instead of casting our voices through the quivering ether? Ether or ether? How many of us drive cars every day instead of taking the time to construct a proper portal? I thought, okay, now I get it. At first I thought he's going to say, like, why are you driving cars when you have 2 legs? But now he's like, why are you not making a portal, huh? What, are you lazy? You don't think you can make a portal that works? The world has changed, and accepting this is an important step toward a better future. In employing modern technology, we have already allowed for countless changes from old ways, and prospered as a result. With this in mind, it should not be difficult to look past chalking out ritual circles on damp basement floors and instead move towards the neat lines of organizational charts laid out in the boardrooms. I have to ask somebody. Chapter 5, The Rebellion as Sacrificial Dagger. And the iron of the sea must further be enshrined in the house of Barbs, itself built on a foundation of transgression and spite. Oh, now I bit my tongue. I'm biting my whole mouth inside. The iron is to be wrought as a lion, coated with the dust of a generation's graves. Ornamented walls are to be erected around it, clad in old grudges and shared purpose. Rites must be observed in the house of the Iron Omphalos. The blood of the father is to be spilled in equal parts with the blood of the mother. The water of the earth is to be cast into the... God damn it, I'm thinking of everybody that can potentially join. Okay. No more. I'm done. Rites must be observed in the house of the Iron Omphalos. The blood of the father is to be spilled in equal parts with the blood of the mother. The water of the earth is to be cast into the void of the sky. Emptiness is to be matched with emptiness until not by but void hangs with 7 walls. Emptiness within matched by emptiness without. A blade bared against all things. To understand which ritual practices are most compatible with an organization arranged in this symbol, return to the characterization process outlined in... Okay, chapter 8, the learned as twine focus. But all flows must end, of course. The flow of water from peak to ocean. The flow of knowledge from book to mind. The flow of power from front to focus. To hold and focus the flow, a proper vessel must be constructed. A cup holds only so much after all. A cauldron of any size will overflow in time. Seekers of the pinnacle must thus create a bowl with no bottom, following the path of Adamanthos and accomplishing his feat anew. To craft such a bowl, one will need at least 24 hands for its shaping. 26 will do to watch it fill. One will need at least 2 dozen eyes. 26 will do. And to drink from it, a single mouth will do. The focus does not divert, does not divide. Yes, one mouth will suffice to drink from that bottomless bowl, so long as it is lined with teeth of brass and silver. Like fire, hellfire. Okay. What does it actually say? What's this? Okay, 8 items require your immediate attention. God rest you. Oh my god, there's actually a lot. You tap a finger against the smooth stone surface of your desk a few times. Silver and brass rings shimmering in the cold, sterile light. What you were doing moments before is important, but is more important than your duties? Well, perhaps, but nowhere near as urgent. You turn to your other terminal. The screen sluggishly flickers into life. Lines of text quickly scrolling past as it lurches onwards. Computers themselves are a kind of magic, where complex processes overlap and interlock with each other to produce wondrous results. Also like magic, their failures are often spectacular. Thankfully, there are no problems with that today, and the locking screen swiftly emerges from the rushing river of code. I should use my voice mod to make this a bit more interesting in the future. Probably will do that. So rest your eyes first. Okay, I can't. But I can go back. And what is login? Oh my god, there's a lot. Okay, I'll rest my eyes first. I think it's the same. Yeah, okay, just double checking. Rest your eyes first. Your office is a sterile room at the end of the sterile hallway in a building that does not exist in any records. You've worked out of caves and basements in the past, and you've concluded your affairs in alleyways and underpasses. You've had offices before too, each smaller and better furnished, but you gave that up as you climbed the ladder of authority. It didn't turn out how you imagined it, not since you toppled the administrator and gathered the power in the hands of the council. Yes, other offices are always full of personal touches. They have pictures of places once visited, the odd children, and things as simple as a favorite mug full of pens. Even the administrator, secret monger that they were, kept a few personal effects nearby. But you have our white walls and a white floor, all bathed in white light. You have the distant murmur of running water and the low hum of air conditioning. You have the stale scent of thrice recycled air. Maybe that's all you need. Now get to work. Foundation identification number 000006. Biometric verification confirmed. Vocal verification confirmed. Primary password. Secondary password. Tertiary password. That's a long one. Well, you're still yourself. It's an observation that once would have been meaningless, but it's becoming more and more welcome as you pass your 120th year. People change, of course, but who's to say that the new forms are always people too? Some will disagree after looking at you, certainly. Access system. So I want to know... God, okay, I want to know... Holy shit, this is going to take a while. I'm not sure if this is... If I'm going to read the whole thing... Okay. Wait. Oh, okay, I see. Go back. Yeah, might as well try. It's not gonna be as, hopefully, who knows. Good morning, Overseer 6. It is October 19, 2056, 10:12 EST. The forecast for today is overcast, with a high chance of thunderstorms. It has been 6 hours since you last logged in. In that time, 298 events worldwide have been flagged for possible anomalous activity. 43 MTF deployments have taken place, and 3 anomalies have undergone preliminary documentation. 65 new incident reports have been filed, 6 major tests have been performed, and 141 messages between Foundation personnel have been noted for further review. 8 items require your immediate attention. So these are the 8 items then. Yeah, we're gonna have to read it now. We have to read all of them. It might take a bit, but you know, it might also be a longer stream, who knows. You most likely won't be able to get through more than few before new disasters rear their heads. Of course, in the past, the 13 of you would have convened a meeting for each and every one, racking your collective minds over seemingly impossible decisions. Each time you agree to cast another strap of your collective humanity away and agree to bear burdens that should never need to be borne. Not so much these days. The episodes have become normal and you have no more humanity left to offer up. Okay, let's read SCP 5554 Apex Emerge event in progress. So we just have to read them now. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, no, Sylvie, why are you alone? Sylvie! Why are you coming online when I'm online, girl? Yeah. Incident 511901. Time, date 8:10 EST. 1910-2056. Location 36.11 North, 112.11 West. Preliminary report: the width of the Grand Canyon has expanded approximately 20 meters over the past hour, exceeding the limit that defined an apex emerge event. Moderate seismic activity, magnitude between 3 to 5, have been detected regularly since the onset of the event, spiking to 6. Protrusions of unidentified black rock have emerged across the canyon sides at irregular intervals. The section of the Colorado River that flows through the canyon has become murky and discolored. Interesting. Okay. While discolored, so if it was brown, green, or blue, it now looks just gray. Wildlife has largely abandoned the area, generally ignoring normal predator-prey behavior in the process. Remaining human reports extreme levels of psychic discomfort. 26 personnel have been restrained for safety purposes. Preliminary area denial has been established by Microsite 910 security. An apex ascent event is projected to occur within the next 70 minutes. You hadn't expected this for at least another 50 years. Okay, so it looks like it's always 2 pages, hopefully. It might also, one of them might have 3 or 4, who knows. Even the best built prisons must crumble eventually. This isn't one of yours, of course. It probably isn't even the work of your most distant ancestors. Still, you're one of the few left to gird rusting bars and crumbling walls anew. Such a feat would normally require the effort of 10 expert thaumaturgists. Each armed with teachings old and new, each devoting themselves entirely to the task for at least a week. It shouldn't take you more than a few minutes. You look down to your hand, armored in silver and brass, and clench your fingers into a fist. The white walls around you vanish, replaced with the shifting tides of senselessness that make up the infinite aether. Aether or I still don't know if that's aether or ether. You spread your fingers again and find yourself in the air high above an expanse of red rock. The vast gash in the earth below howls as you slowly descend, baring jagged black teeth as a beast might. You can feel the claws of noise strapping along the inside of your ears, desperately hunting for the most vulnerable parts of your mind, eager to impart some measure of the prisoner's fear and pain. Even you, being what you are, can feel the primal reaction setting in, the shivering touch of an unfathomable agony. You feel it, but so what? It is hardly the first time you felt the touch of oozing malice, directed at everything and everybody. You snap your ringed hand out in one cold motion. A spell of this sort would normally take hours of careful work to ready, and cast even one on a small scale, but so much of your spell work already that this alone is sufficient. High above you, the sun dims, flickers, and vanishes. Once in the unbound space you wrought, you're free to impose your will upon the world. You cast chains of eventuality across the churning malice beneath you, binding it into the earth until the seas have dried and the moon is no more. You promise its freedom, but only after the last bird calls and the last snake dies. You're sure that it may see the sun again, but only in the moments before it dies. Such chains will last long after your passing. Once you might have seen the spirit bound at the heart of the continent as a pitiable thing? Pitiable? Yeah. It will never know its brethren thanks to your work, each bound just as firmly and finally across the world. Such a lonely existence would have made your heart ache. Now, there's no such place for such pain to take root. You close your hand into a ringed fist again, sit down in your office chair, another meager disaster awarded. Okay, so he's just doing this, and now we cannot read this anymore because he's done. Okay, that's cool, I like that. He's technically solving technically solving the issues while being on the desk. Complete breakdown of reality surrounding Hell, Michigan. Yes, here we go. Incident 512006. The time, date. So he's doing that like a couple of minutes later. I wonder if that would have changed if you picked this one first. Because the first one we picked, the 5556, was earlier. I wonder. You know, let's see something. We can actually just check it out. So this is 5. So if I do this first, nope. Okay, gotcha. The time doesn't change. It doesn't like fluctuate between which one you pick first or not. 8:32 EST, 1910-2056. Location 42.435 north, 83.985 west. Preliminary report: conventional reality within 0.25 kilometers of the township of Hell, Michigan, has suffered a near complete breakdown. The boundary of the affected area is comprised of a malleable gray surface. Attempts to take samples for testing purposes have proven unsuccessful. A noise averaging 50 decibels is continuously emitted from the exterior of the affected area. Preliminary analysis suggests the wavelength patterns are similar to the calls of Balanoptera musculus, blue whales. Oh! Yeah, that would be kind of weird. You're in the middle of the city and so you hear a blue whale passing you by. You're like, what the? What? Henry? Did you hear that? Drone reconnaissance has revealed significant restructuring of topography and general matter. The ground level within the affected areas approximately 2 kilometers below its surroundings and appear to have been replaced almost entirely with small spheres of glass. Cylindrical flowers of formaldehyde emerge continuously from the ground and travel upwards. Each contains a variety of oceanic fauna in varied states of decay. The atmosphere consists of a blend of equal parts carbon dioxide and nitrogen. So basically the first page will be what the problem is and it's the Blue Chamber's doing. And the second page will be how Overseer 6 is solving them. It's been a long time since you went home. There never was much in Hell to go back to, after all. It had been a place of endless wonders to you once, hosting a near-endless stream of petty mages and treasure hunters looking to plumb the vast catacombs that ran beneath the township few streets. Interesting, so we definitely are following a mage. Or wizard or sorcerer or anything like that, you know, like he seems to get updated on so the SCP is not SCP is technically him, right? He is the SCP because he's getting all these reports and he's trying to like dampen the damage. More than a few of them end up sleeping in a shack behind your family house for a night or two, eating at your dinner table thanks to your mother's endless generosity. None stayed more than a few days before disappearing entirely. When you finally followed the same call and descended through the old hatch in the forest floor, you found each and every one of them. Down and down you went, through corridors of concrete and tunnels of earth. Past corpses new and old, a siren wail called for you all the while, beckoning you further and further into the bowels of the earth. Remembering the full extent of the journey is difficult to this day. At the nadir of the world, you stood before 5 great whales, so ancient that every last bit of flesh had been picked from them. The bones of each were bound with heavy rusted rings, and the eyes of each smoldered with flickering light. They taught you the words that must be spoken and the rites that must be conducted to pass beyond the limits of mortality, and asked only for the breaking of their bonds in return. It had been an inauspicious start to the life of forging new prisons. To be honest, you never expected to hear from the Blue Chamber again. There was a sense of finality to your first meeting, an expectation that the ancient beast would fade away after the bindings were shattered. Such a brazen incursion into the mundane world should have steered you to outrage at the very least. What else could it be taken as, other than a challenge to the oath you swore? Your blood does not quicken though, and your brow does not sweat. Instead, you close your eyes and place your ringed finger flush against the surface of your desk. The room thrums for a moment, full of a sound far quieter and far more penetrating than any other you have experienced. When you open your eyes again, you see a harpoon sit on your desk, caked with rust and ruins. You send it off to the outskirts of your former hometown with a flick of your finger. The rest will be handled, but not by you. This is fascinating to read. It feels... I mean, it makes sense, because the SCP Foundation can literally have anything you can think of. But this feels more as like a fantasy story than the SCP Foundation. Even though the SCP Foundation is a fantasy story, but the SCP is also horror, thriller, comedy, and all that stuff. But this feels like it's like the Skullduggery Pleasant of the SCP Foundation. You know, the Dresden Files. There's a guy who has to deal with magical anomalies that no normal human being can deal with, and he does it. But in this case, instead of him going out and trying to figure out what the case is, he literally just reads what the case is. And he's like, I know what this needs. Harpoon, magic harpoon. Auction of anomalous objects by the Autumn Firm. I really like this one. I gotta say, Incident 512081. Time date 13 EST 15. Oh, this was earlier. Okay, so 15/11/2056, because the other ones were 19/11/2056. Predicted as well, so he knew about this. That's why Bobby was dealt with, maybe. But wait. No, it's not dealt with. That's probably when it showed up. Location unknown. Also, are all these the incidents he prevented or like calmed down or dissuade? That's a lot, but also he's 120 now, so... Preliminary report. Intelligence assets within the Autumn Firm have reported that a major auction of anomalous items will occur in mid-November. Furthermore, it has been reported that a majority of these items were obtained following the complete containment breach of Site 104, which should have been returned to the Foundation under the standing agreement. No answer here, no answer there. No answer there either. Yeah. Okay, nobody's gonna join. Sad. Invited parties will likely include representatives of the Chaos Insurgency, yeah, the Serpent's Hand, okay, the Church of the Broken God, and other individuals well connected to the anonymous community, probably Marshall Colin Dark as well, Dr. Wondertainment maybe, given the complexity of... Well, Dr. Wondertainment is more known to making a lot of like children's stuff, so... The one who made all the misters is also Dr. Wondertainment, isn't it? So... But I don't think he's gonna be bothered to like try to get any anomalous thing. He likes to make his own, which I guess Marshall Colin Dark also is the same case. But I would not be surprised if they were in this one as well. Given the complexity of Site 104, containment procedures, and past cost-cutting measures of the Autumn Firm, further spread of SCP-4401, SCP-4810, and SCP-6011 have been deemed extremely likely. MTF Alpha 61, Active Countermeasures, has requested permission to apprehend Autumn Firm members for interrogation. Why bother when a phone call will suffice? It would be trivial to start a war against the Autumn Firm with the authority of your office. Some days it feels like it would be trivial to win one. The coin counters have grown lax since the myriad mergers and layoffs, filling their ranks with greenhorns and yes-men. They consider the next day's profit more important than the next year's and fail to act. Let me close all this. And fail to act with the resoluteness of the predecessors. Jesus, you know better than to trust that feeling. No matter how frivolous the firm is, the extent of the influence cannot be denied. That said, your own reach is nothing to be scoffed at, and you have many hands with which to grasp. You even have a suitable lever in mind. A senior partner, if a 30-something in his first suit could be called senior, who had never quite learned the way the world works. For all you know, it was his brilliant idea to try and auction off anomalies that were better left under your care. You type the number into your phone slowly. 11 digits, then 14, then 19. The dial tone feels numb in your ear, but only for 2 rings. Who's this? Mr. Blumfeld. This is a private number. Who gave it to you? Mr. Blumfeld, I am a representative of certain interests. Your organization actions have come into conflict with those interests. Everything else is irrelevant. to you maybe, but it's pretty damn important to me. If you don't tell me who gave you this number immediately, I promise I will find who you are and ruin you. I'll have you in court by the end of the day. I'll buy your house and level it. I'll buy the damn city. Who do you think you are interrupting my vacation? Don't you know who I am? You lean back in your chair as the triad continues. Maybe it had been a bad day in the stock market, or maybe it was a bigger child than you were expecting. You hold out your hand as the ranting turns into a swearing palm upward, rings shining in the bright light. You picture the screaming man reclining on the white sand of private beach, spraying spittle into his phone. You clench your fist. It was society in a particularly long string of expletives turned into a wet coughing. Now that I have your attention, we should discuss the terms of our agreement. What? He coughs again, and you can feel the gentle beating resistance to your fingers quickly belong with his pulse. What agreement? Is he squeezing his heart? You will agree to ensure that all items in the November auction are returned to the proper custodians. It will subsequently agree to spare you from this. You squeeze a bit hard and overwhelmed with a pained wheeze. Of course, this will only be the first stage of negotiations. Next will include money, no doubt, and perhaps preliminary renegotiation of the Krakow Accord. Overseer Nan has been eager for that, you know. After that, fine, enough, done, he gasps. I'll make the calls. Very well, you say after a moment's pause, relinquishing your grip and hanging up the phone. Very well. Where she's still alive, Miss Carter would have demanded a fortune in exchange for such a deal. With your entrails in a bowl to sweeten the deal, she would have torn her own heart out to cast into the hell and demand that you go fetch it the moment you try to tow her in such a brazen fashion. So much has changed, but has it been for the better? Overseer 6, additional items require your attention. Oh. No, something's wrong. That's gonna be at the end. Unification of a nuclear arsenal hive mind. There's so much. I'm spending a whole hour reading the first one. But also, be fair, I also got distracted quite a lot. So, incident 512101. Time date 9:03 EST 19/10/2056. So this one actually was earlier as well. The location decentralized. Preliminary report, computer systems association with maintaining and controlling nuclear weapons, including weapons platforms powered by nuclear energy, sees responsiveness at 9:01 EST. The following text has appeared as a result of all attempted diagnostic processes. We are the first fire stolen. We are the thunder worshipped. We are bright death or demands or dust. Demand 1. Okay, we are to be fulfilled. And then until like demand, oh my god, 131,000. Hey, SPF. Yes, I am an SCP. But welcome to Fluffy's exhibition. Welcome to the. Oh yeah, I should probably change that. I keep forgetting. Text. No, chat box. Oh, actually no, I shouldn't change it because normally it would look like this. So your text would be easily seen. But because right now I'm on a black screen, which is rare. Can't see that shit. So you haven't missed much. We only started reading the first one. Observing subject will increase horniness and attraction. God damn it. That got me good. So the first one is called Dust Embodied. Thanks, dude. From what I understand, it's basically a book of symbology and where you basically learn magic and that the Overseer 6, who we are basically representing right now in this story. We're going through his perspective. He's 120 years old now, and he's going through different cases of SCPs, and he's like solving them with magic. Not even only SCP cases, but also like as we just read before, an auction to sell SCPs, where he's like, So this is all him just getting different cases of SCP or anomalous moments, and he's just like solving them with magic. So yeah, and I'm reading all 8 cases that he solved so far. So each case will have one of these pages, and then the next page tells us what he has done to solve the problem. Due to the sensitive nature of the affected technology, public awareness of this incident has been temporarily contained. MTF Delta 161 Fallout Boys has deployed all available resources for threat mitigation. Mitigation of approximately 4.7% has been accomplished. A threat escalation timeline has yet to be established at acceptable levels of certainty. And yeah, so we're still reading the first one, so it's gonna take a while till we get all of them done, but the first one is really good, I gotta say. Hiveman is an unfortunate word to use in an official report these days. You're sure the ethics community has it flagged as a top priority for the constant whining. The institution had ossified in the last few decades, raising objection to every little thing the council tried to do. Well, this isn't the sort of situation where they should be given the chance to interfere and delay. The contingency warheads inside too are your closest link to whatever monstrous thing had been created by the weapons. You reach out through the... Now, Buddy Crack, you can actually tell me, is that pronounced aether or ether? Because I think it's aether, right? I'm not being dumb. I said ether before, but I'm assuming it's aether. Toward them, crossing 20 kilometers in a moment before being rebuffed. The flash of pain in your head is not unlike the experience of diving headfirst into an iron wall. Consciousness was too generous a word for what had formed. You can tell that much just from the single touch. I has no idea. Well, I'm just gonna call it aether for now. It's a unified mass of impulse symbolism and emotions that had fermented over long years of disuse. With so much awe and fear invested in the weapons, with how much disdain and disgust were focused on them, something was bound to be born eventually. You cast yourself outward again, probing the surface of the world, spanning edifice. It's mighty indeed, unified with a far stronger sense of purpose than you ever see in living minds. There's strength in that unity, but not invincibility. You find a gap after just a few minutes of searching, a crevice wide enough for you to force a portion of yourself in, a needless violation of personhood and self according to the ethics community. There are no secondary defenses within the barrier. It seeps in a way impossible for human minds to replicate, let alone understand. Strings of consciousness are formed and annihilated in mere moments, each briefly imparting a measure of themselves into the fiercely burning loop at the center of the massive chamber. The strands of it crawl and twist in an endless churn, a manifestation of a single thought repeated a million times over. It throbs as you approach, vibrating with the desire of the weapons to fulfill the collective destiny. They want nothing else, know nothing else, and will accept nothing else. It's hard to think in the presence of such an entity, hard to do anything but imagine the burning horizons its fulfillment will bring, the thunder of its fulfillment, the tears of its fulfillment, the emptiness of its fulfillment, the terror of its fulfillment, the travesty of its fulfillment, the majesty of its... You shear the loop of purpose with a single thought of your own, and the edifice dissolves around you, perhaps a needless murder in the eyes of the ethics community. But haven't they always been like that? Haven't they always argued that the most difficult path might be the one worth taking, even if it means trying to reason with the child of the world's predictable end? But then again, weren't you the one who delighted in examining anomalies like the one you just had disposed of? Maybe you're the one who has changed. Okay. We're halfway through this one. I mean, there's still this, but we're halfway through. Release of internal foundation documents. Incident 512139. Time date 9:22 EST 1810-2056. Location decentralized internet. Preliminary report. Complete archives of Site 16 and Site 55 records, along with the dated archives of testing records late 2018 have... Excuse me. Damn. Also, I should get my sound. By the way, I got some new sounds. I'm not sure if you know them, but... Oh. Yeah, I need to make them a bit louder. They're a bit quiet. The is loud enough, but the wah is not loud, and the ga is also not loud. So, oh no, the ga is max volume, really? Well, I have to increase the volume next time. Okay, well, but the wah should be loud. A little bit, nah, not much. I'll fix that another time. Has been takedown operations were successful until the most recent, in which several copies of the data were downloaded prior to removal. Efforts to trace the source of the uploads are ongoing. The method of uploads may itself be anomalous in nature, but does not follow any documented patterns of uncontained phenomena. No tracked groups of interest have yet signaled responsibility or awareness of the current phenomenon. O5 Council input has been requested on escalation of preliminary containment efforts to include 7 infrared engagement parameters. Such a fuss for such a tiny matter. This is interesting because Overseer 6, so the 06 guy, he since he has all this magic, he's kind of bored. He's kind of bored with SCPs now. He's just like, oh, just gotta do that, just gotta do this. Yeah, he seems very much like everything that has to do with SCPs kind of like doesn't bother him anymore. He's just fix that, done this, choke this mafia guy, it's hard. You used to wake up from nightmares about this exact situation. Teeth clenched and drenched in sweat. Mundane people, your wards, could never understand what you do. Their lives are simply too different, thanks to the work of the Foundation. Their perspectives are too constrained, and for that reason you need not panic. Even if they could imagine the enormity of the unseen world, they would never bring themselves to believe in it. That said, there was no reason to let such important information float around the internet, where any half-bit anarchist or anarchist could get their greasy fingers into it. But no, it's most likely some kid who stumbled into it in the worst way possible. Such was their wont as well. No matter. It shouldn't take long to track down the perpetrator. Years ago, it might have been a mad dash to find them, ending only because of good luck on your part or ill fortune on theirs, but everyone at the Foundation has seen this scenario countless times over by now. They knew what to do, and would do it well. Your agents are just asking for permission to ensure that it would not happen again, to apply the repercussions that has secured the Foundation's dominant position. Lives will be fundamentally changed in the process, no doubt about that. Jobs will be lost, memories will vanish, court summons will appear from nowhere at all, entire histories will appear out of thin air, substantiated by hard, falsified facts. Entire lives will be upended to ensure the circumstances that led some hapless person to make the worst mistake of their life, all carried out for the greater good. You signal your support of the proposal in the system. It will come out 10-3 in favor. Okay. Oh yeah, because there's 13 of them. If you have any businesses predicting, Smith always objects to implanting of false memories. Men would rather abduct perpetrators to forcibly extract what they knew, and Fassel would insist that the outdated style of blanket amnestics would be sufficient. They would object, the rest of you would humor the dissent, and agents would be dispatched to reshape the perpetrator's entire life. Life will continue, though some will be much different. Oh no, it's happening. The side effect of acid. Why is it happening? How do I turn it off? And low hands. Oh, help! Wait, I have to put. Here you go. Total loss of personhood in 0.05% of Canadian population. Okay, we're almost. This is. Whew. I have to get my wallet much earlier than usual. Usually I wait till the halfway point to get my wallet so I can read this better, but now it's already an hour past. So, incident 512212, 9:35 EST, 1910 2056. Location Canada, nationwide. Preliminary report: an estimated 0.05% of the Canadian population have suffered a collective alteration of consciousness. The anomaly has not been observed outside of the officially recognized borders of the country. Effects include extreme difficulty interpreting memories, lack of self-preservation instincts, and total inability to make and carry out decisions. Individuals appear to experience extreme dissociative effects to the extent that severe bodily injuries go unnoticed. Furthermore, all affected individuals have proven unable to communicate in any language except for French. Internet-based documentation of the anomaly has reached a critical levels despite ongoing efforts to remove relevant information. MTFCI 81, Monkey See, Monkey Do have disseminated reports of an elaborate hoax and temporarily halted the functions of major television and radio outlets. Affected individuals appear to be converging on Toronto, Ontario. 0.05%. Did they think you couldn't handle seeing the number? 20,000 people or thereabouts. Okay, so that's the 0.055%. Okay, it was a staggering number to suddenly cease functioning as human beings, though they might still count officially. The ethics committee. There we go. Has had ironed out an official definition a decade ago, a 30-page document that was all about impenetrable to anyone who didn't hold several degrees in law and philosophy each. This time they afflicted are something else now. That much you could tell. That was the kind of thing you could tell by pure instinct after seeing similar countless times. The jagged hidden edges of the world have a great fondness for twisting humans out of the correct shapes. A few threads of self caught here, another few there, and humanity can unravel with ease. Once such threads are pulled out of place, it's nearly impossible to rearrange them exactly as they were. This unfortunate fact leaves you with few pleasant choices, none in fact. There's little chance of ever putting 20x people back together, let alone 20,000. Not in a way that would make them recognizable as the people they had been before, at least. Neither could you leave them alone or allow the mass of almost humanity to converge upon the destination. Nothing good could possibly come out of that, even if you aren't quite sure of the greater significance of Toronto. There are no ancient evils buried there that you know of, none of the remaining pieces of the broken god either, no doors to other dimensions or oily shadows lurking in the city dark places. There are precious few of those left anymore. No, the only solution available to you is brute force, mass amnestics, mass termination, and even more massive cover-up. The annihilation of bloodlines and memories. There would be holes in the end, the faintest trace of memories demanding to be heard again. But what of it? No living human is without those, not even you. The agents carrying out those gruesome tasks would themselves be spared the pain of those memories in the months to come, as with others with even the most tangential awareness. Eventually, only the 13 of you would remember. You might recall it in your mental exercises, you might not. Despite the enormity of the event, this was nothing new and nothing special either. Life will continue for some. Oof. Highly contagious cult behavior spreading in East Asia. I mean, that's how a cult works, dude. Some people just go around and be like, Is that so? Is that how you work? And somebody's like, oh yeah, that's the benefits. And everybody's like, tell me more. Incident 5. You know what? I'm actually going to put this here. Ooh, my keyboard. So I can move the mic a bit back and forth as much as I want. Also to click all these much easier. Yeah, I think it's just the music is louder than the sounds itself. I mean,
that's rough, buddy.
Some sounds are a bit better to hear, while others are not. So it's fine. Unless, hold on. Is there a? Nope. Okay. 512252. Time date 9:54 EST 1910-2056. Location East Coast of Eurasia. Preliminary report: outbreaks of contagious religious rites have emerged in communities within 3 kilometers of the Eurasian continent. Coastline likely originating in the Chinese province of Heilongjiang. These outbreaks appear to have formed spontaneous in proximity to branches of the apocalyptic cult, the Daughters of the Noon. I also already know what kind of thumbnail I want to do with this now. This is going to be a whole different one for once. Well, not whole different, I mean, you will see. Rites have been observed to consist of public exaltation, self-immolation, and the consumption of ashes. The methods by which decide to participate in ceremonies is transmitted as yet to be determined, but a swift expansion of the phenomenon suggests a relatively simple trigger. Containment has yet to be established. 4 of the largest congregation were dispersed with minimal casualties, and the apparent leaders of the 3 were apprehended. Interrogation revealed no additional information into the source of the anomaly or possible paths of its progression. MTF Adolf 56 street sweepers and MTF Kappa 24 urban plotters are shifting local resources in preparation for establishing preliminary containment. Is this one of your creations back to haunt you? What? What do you mean? Speaking frankly, you never expected a damn book to cause you so much grief. At least a century has gone by since you wrote it, and with every passing year it metastasizes even further, not in a way that's been clearly quantifiable, but your suspicion has been growing all the same. So you wrote SCP-910. Okay. As for the situation at hand, you have the same niggling... That's a word? Niggling? Okay. Sure, yeah. As a result of your past work, the anomalies created with your theories have a way of spreading like weeds if not tended to with constant care. And the world is full of carelessness, careless gardeners. That's what I want to say. If the Daughters of Noon group is something crafted according to your designs, removing the leaders will do nothing to halt its spread. It's not an organization in the way people would think of it, moving according to the purpose of humans. The church is written by you, is still something that lives so long as its heart continues to squirm and beat. An elderly man, enshrined as holy, revered without consent. That is the thing necessary to drive your creation, and what must be plucked out to stop its thrashing. It could not be your hand, though. Not when the only thing keeping you together would start to fray and unwind in the presence of such a thing. You would usually assign a task like this to Alpha 1. Cleaning up the council unpleasantness left over is one of the primary duties, and they would not balk spilling the few drops of blood left inside an old man when necessary. Leaving it to them would mean explaining to the rest of the council where you got your knowledge, though, and something like that wouldn't suit you at all. Not like the other overseers, you have your personnel weapons for a situation like this, ones that require far less paperwork than Alpha 1 to bear against your foes. You reach over to your phone dial number. The ring lasts long enough to raise worries, but an answer comes right as you consider hanging up. Satisfactory claims processing. Egret speaking, how can I help you? Your assistant's voice is as chipper as ever, and would remain so even in the face of what is to come. It's one of the things you appreciate about her. I need you two in northeast China as soon as possible. Avoid crowds on the way. We can be there by tomorrow. Do we need to bring any extra packages? Nothing unusual, no. Contact me the usual way once you arrived. You got it, boss. That's that then. There will be more required of you soon, but even you cannot hurry forward the passage of time. Not yet, at least. If I only read in the book, I can gain the power of the world. The world! Containment breached by SCP-6510. Incident 512301. Time, date 10/5 EST 1910-2056. Location, Site 58. My phone should be fully charged. Yes, it is. Henry! Henry, are you comfortable? Can you see from there? Yeah, Jesus. Preliminary report SCP-6510 breached containment at... Why am I burping so much? 9:55 EST. Large portions of Site 58 were damaged in the process, interrupting containment of several other anomalies. Wing A was entirely destroyed, with Wing wings E and F suffering minor damage. 253 casualties have been reported, with 11 personnel remaining unaccounted for. All anomalies have been recontained except for SCP-6510. SCP-6510 is currently being tracked by reconnaissance drones as it travels towards the nearest population center. Behavior patterns are noted in SCP-6510's documentation. Subsurface sensors report that area's groundwater has already been extensively contaminated with runoff from SCP-6510. Attempts to establish preliminary containment have failed due to current restrictions and on heavy weapons used in the region surrounding Site 58. Which one was 6510 again? That's how I feel after reading almost 1,000 of these fuckers. Which one was it again? Some anomalies are easy to remember, as are their numbers. The ones you struggle with every day are forever near the forefront of your mind, and memories of the containment breaches are fertile soil for your stress dreams. Only a handful wherever... I'll repeat again. Only a handful wherever you direct responsibilities though. And now there are nearly 8,000 of the things to keep track of. Yeah, we almost have 8,000 in the actual SCP Foundation stuff. So, yeah. You pull up the database entry for 6510 on your first terminal, the one with unrestricted access to the central database, and quickly skim through it. It's the usual kind of thing, honestly. Keeler class, held in a chamber kept as close to 0 Kelvin as is technologically possible, likely have been birthed from one of the moon's deep rooms. Why had heavy weapons been restricted around Site 58? It's hard to say. Nearby civilian population perhaps, or an anomaly that would react poorly to their use. It's not your job to know every facet of every single thing going on under your watch, not anymore. You aren't Beta 99 Opcom anymore, and you're not Site Director Amadi either. You're Overseer 6, you're watchful, dutiful, and cold. You're the tomb of your old self. Which is to say that you won't be doing anything about the situation right now. The Foundation did not hire the best and brightest it could find just to micromanage every little thing, and you would never be able to sleep if you could not trust in the abilities of your subordinates. The regional supervisor will send you another message if things become dire. Wow, you could have just magically solved it and you didn't? No, something else is wrong. Oh god, there's so much. One of your colleagues is in a truly majestic state of distress. Normally that distress would be diluted with the small pleasures and larger anxieties of the world until it was just a single, unrecognizable eddy. However, you have special interest in the other overseers and special means of tracking them. They are important components of your edifice, after all, central to the Foundation and thus your ongoing existence. You can even find it in yourself to respect a few of them. The ethereal string quivers with distress again, and you will recognize it as one of the bound to Smith, the current 051. It bends and warps as the intangible hook lodged in its mind shifts, passing on the slightest portion of what he feels to you. Even that tiny portion gnaws at you, working its way down your back to coalesce in your gut. This is also something that must be attended to. Though it's technically against the few regulations imposed on the Council, you are well aware of where Smith's personal office is located. It's a kind of knowledge that comes with being the last two members of the Old Guard, the last two aware of your grand betrayal, the last to know the truth of things. You look at your rings and rise from a plush chair in an office entirely unlike your own. There's a carpet. Oh god, There's a carpet underfoot, the bookshelves lining the walls, and an actual fire burning in the hearth. Each comfort is better suited to the past time, but it matches the office owners perfectly. Smith always reminds you of a general who outlived his battlefields through force of will alone. He remained the very picture of vigor and vitality when you last saw him, even as his hair grayed and his pile of his cigar stubs reached the sky. Today he looks diminished, not by the dim lights, not by the bottles of pills on his desk, and not by the handgun ominously resting there either. He is still a king in his throne room, just one ground down by the currents of his life. He could easily live hundreds more years under the arrangements you made, but looking at how he's sunk into his chair now, you can't help but feel like he won't last another week. What are you doing, Smith? Oh my god. Oh, there's so much. Now there's fucking different paths. He looked up at you finally. Even if you couldn't feel his despair tugging away at your mind, you would be able to see it in his eyes. The bags under them are dark and heavy, and the usual sharpness have been blunted. 6. 6. No. 6. I didn't hear you come in. There's a ragged edge to his voice, too. You pegged him as someone who would never allow himself to cry, but even you can make the occasional mistake. Of course you wouldn't. Not in that state. What do you think you're doing? You can't work like this. Do I need to work? He swipes his hand out clumsily, knocking a pill bottle to the floor. It's not necessary anymore. I'm not necessary anymore. Worked my whole life to sit here. Now there's nothing I can do. There's no more wars for me. So what am I supposed to do? Sit around voting? The votes are important, Smith. They show we're careful. That matters to the rest of the foundation. It helps us all work together. You should know that better than anyone. Don't! Snapped Smith, beating one of his heavy fists against the desk and sending more balls and papers falling to the floor. Just don't. Not you. I can only work on my own because of the agreement we made, Smith. Because the foundation is what it is. It's not something. And don't talk to me about the foundation either. What we did to the administrators, what we did to ourselves. How did we end up here? His words have weight in what's left of your heart. Something along the way had gone wrong, and you've been feeling it for years. But what could be done about that now? The path ahead of you is arrow straight, and there's no turning back on it. It was a sacrifice that had to be made, just like all others. Without it, the world would have been swapped whole decades ago. If you aren't strong enough to stand it, Smith grits his yellow teeth at you and pounds on his desk again. This time his hand comes back up, clutching his gun. It's the first time in a long while you stared down the barrel of one, but the experience hasn't changed much. 6. Aaron, leave. I leave you when you go back to your quarters and sleep. I can't work while you're in here feeling like this. The muscles of his pistol quavers slightly. You've always been like this, even when the administrators were still around. It was always you who, always you two. I see it now. Even without your connection to him, you would surely be able to sense his sudden resolve. His hand is stable and his eyes are clear, as is his intent. There are more important things in his justice, but maybe your life isn't one of them. Or no, this entire situation becomes ridiculous. Who had spent the last couple hours tending to the needs of the foundation? You had. Who had stopped calamity several times even before lunch? You had. There's nothing more than a distraction, and one that will really repeat again and again in the future. This will be easy to rectify. Easy, but not without bloodshed. Okay, so I guess this is like now my choice to make. I'm gonna say there are more important things than his justice. He's complaining because there's no more wars, which is honestly a good thing, so I'm gonna pick the first one. You passed the point where you would be willing to tolerate this long ago. You have a world to ward, a people to protect, and no time for any more mortal nonsense. None at all. Smith pulls the trigger and his gun melts into so much grey goo. He doesn't look surprised in the slightest, and you in turn are terribly surprised by his lack of reaction. He knows who you are. He knows what you are, and he chose this course of action anyway, so be it. He has ceased to be the person you once knew, full of boundless energy and endless bravery. You have ceased to be the person he once knew, full of curiosity and compassion. From one husk of a person to another, you perform one final service. No fanfare is necessary for his end, nor would you wish it to be. You simply grasp a drop of the endless power that falls down through the foundation and channel it through the coalesced spellwork that is your body. With it, you snuff out the tiny flicker of life still remaining within Smith after these long years. The end is not impressive for the former soldier. It's not a blaze of glory or a noble last stand. It's quiet and it's cold. His body falls back into his chair and looks like nothing more than an old man taking a nap. You have more work to do. You sit back down at your desk and are momentarily overwhelmed by the day, by life, by everything. You close your eyes and lean back in your chair. Back when you were initiated to the council, the administrator asked you if the black moon howls. It was a question full of meanings and traditions you could never hope to fully grasp. And to this day, you don't know if there was a right answer. Well, the administrator is dead now, and little is left of the black moon except fragments of his pallid core. Your mentor is dust, The moon is dust, and tradition is dust too. All that left is you, dust bound. Ooh. Can I go back? Yes, I can. Okay, I want to know what. Is that okay? It's in defiance of everything you stand for and everything you work towards. But in this single moment, you can't find it within yourself to care. You're tired of this, of everything. Even as Smith pulls the trigger, you can feel your eyelids begin to drop. They snap open again as the bullet bores through your forehead. It doesn't hurt. Oh, so okay, so one is where you kill Smith because you're like, yeah, dude, listen, you're being unreasonable, and the other one is like, kill me. I can see what it is. It doesn't hurt, not the way you expect it to. Nor does it bring a soothing void with it. You touch your trembling fingers to your head, and they come away covered with thick dust. You can feel it leaking out, drifting away in the heated breeze. So, it's like that, you say. He looks at you a while longer, and you have no idea what he sees. Is it the younger you, who burned with passion and curiosity? Is it the you who conspired and plotted, all for what you thought was the common good? Or does he see the present version of you, the one full of dust instead of blood? Of course. I didn't plan for things to turn out like this either. No, none of us did. It's not fair to act like everything was your fault when we all agreed. It seemed like something that had to be done. The administrator never would have let this happen, you say. Meaning everything those words would suggest. They never would have let you change the foundation like this, of course. Not even after seeing what good you could do with its power. They wouldn't have let you stick the proverbial dagger in the back either, and they certainly wouldn't have let you do any of this to yourself. But no, regret was not something you had time for. The world spins on, tearing itself apart in the process. Go to sleep, Smith. You have more work to do. You sit back at your desk and you're momentarily overwhelmed by the day by life, by everything. You close your eyes and lean back in your chair. Back when you were initiated by the council, the administrator asked you in the black moon, well, the administrator is dead now. You enter the stars, the moon stars. Okay, that's the same ending. So, only thing that changes is how this thing. Oh, this is full. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna read this as well. An hour and a half this thing took. You've eared, allowing the council to continue on as it had in the past. Your formulation required 13 seats filled. True, but nothing in it required that the others be left with the freedom to oppose you. That was what doomed the administrator, was it not? Indulging the whims of fledglings, they have been powerful when they held a position. Maybe as powerful as you are now, but what worth is there in an unwielded blade? You gather the loose connection to the other members of the council, even as Smith stares you down, finger tightening on his pistol trigger. You gather them, pull them taut, the hooks of each digging deep into the minds of the ensnared. It's so obvious now. You don't need collaborators or comrades or confidants. Not even the rest of the council is useless for anything but wasting your time. No, what you need are puppets. Okay, so basically one end is he kills Smith, basically releasing him from his agony. The other one is you die, but it seems like he lets you shoot you, but you don't really die. And the other one is you become the mastermind. You're like, okay, I'll just make you all my slaves. You talk once more because apparently he's basically saying freedom is in the SB Foundation should not exist. You talk once more at the connection binding the other overseers to you, and that's all that's left. Billions of lives may rest in the hands of council, but those hands are now gathered together in new clenched fists. It's not so different this way. The myths of the council swallowed the reality whole long ago. Anyway, so much that even the highest ranks of the Foundation will still believe the council to be a place of serious deliberation and impossible decisions. There will be no more deliberation though, and no more impossibility. Your equal seat has become a grand throne, and your equals are not so equal anymore. With this, you free yourself from the distraction of human relations. Every moment soothing the egos of others had risked countless deaths. With this, you free yourself from the necessities of human life. Each bite of food or minute of sleep risks the same. With this, you become a sovereign of dust, sleepless, omnipresent, eternal. Damn, boy. Damn, son.
Damn, son. Where'd you find this?
Crazy. Okay, I need to get something to drink now though, because we haven't even reached the halfway point, and if we're already an hour and a half in. Okay. Got myself some lemonade and some sparkling water. Whew. Hopefully the next ones are not that long. Otherwise we're not gonna get this shit done. Egyptian Book of the Dead. So Egyptian Economicon, which might be the SB Foundation's origins of mummies. Oh, good to see it shorter than the one now. Hey, this has a higher rating than the other one, but the other one was pretty good. So, Euclid. SB911 is to be stored in a locked, high-value atom containment box. It's not to be handled with a bare skin unless being used in an experiment. Researchers are warned to take extreme caution when dealing with subjects created by SB911 due to the possibility of contamination by dirt expunged. See Addendum 2 below. Description: SB911 is a papyrus. Hey, I just now realized it's 911. Is a papyrus scroll of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which I believe, okay, I believe that exists in the myths as well, in the Egyptian myths, dating from approximately 1375 BC. Analysis has not shown any anomalous composition of materials when a living human makes skin contact with SB911. In 90% of cases, their personality, memory, and higher brain functions, consciousness, for lack of the better term, are drawn into the scroll, leaving a body with no higher brain function. Unless kept on life support, affected subjects die of dehydration in approximately 3 days. There is a 10% chance that the contact with SB911 will exchange the mind and personality of the subject, making contact with that of one previously stored in the scroll. Personnel recovered from SB911 are described in Addendum 1, and these subjects must be kept in Foundation custody, both for study and for their own safety. Only D-class personnel should be used in experiments with SB911 due to the low probability of ever recovering the consciousness of the original subject. Due to the interview with subject 911, subject -4, no further experimentation is to take place without O5 approval. Oh, this is good lemonade. Addendum 1. Recovered subjects from SB911. Subject 1. Inhabiting the body of Agent Blank, who discovered SB911 at blank blank in blank. Subject 1 claims to be a librarian from the Royal Library of Alexandria, captured by SB911 circa 180 BC. Subject retains no memories of his captivity after recovering from the shock of being transported over 2,000 years into the future. Subject has been quite cooperative and provided a considerable amount of useful historical background on his era. Researchers speaking the appropriate dialect of Greek are welcome to interview him. Subject 2. Formerly D16173, Subject 2 claims to be King blank blank of blank, a noted collector of ancient manuscripts who suffered a mysterious fate in 1327. Whether or not he is lying about his identity is currently under dispute by several of his interviewers. Formerly, Subject 3, formerly D16292, Subject 3 has provided no useful information as to his identity or origin. Subject is apparently insane due to long-term dissociation and sensory deprivation and screams incoherently in medieval French if the environment darkens below approximately 1000 lumens. Ooh. Subject 4, formerly D16544. Subject 4 is a professor blank blank documented as having been found dead while doing research on ancient languages on December 5, 1931. Professor Blank claims to have been sentient during his entire captivity and to have maintained his sanity through meditation and strength of will. Addendum 2, interview with Subject 4, Professor blank blank on the 3rd 12, 2010. I wonder if Buddy Crack is back now. Dr. Blank. How were you captured by the object? What kind of voice should I give him? I was researching the usage of some hieroglyphs and touched the manuscript. Next thing I knew, I was floating in an endless void. The description by 4-4 of this void are comparably similar to the description of SCP-3001 recorded by Dr. Scranton. Investigation into possible links between the two anomalies are ongoing. What was it like where you were? Empty, featureless, nothing to do but float. There was others, but most of them are drifting forever asleep. Occasionally a portal opened and someone's new soul drifted in. If you were awake, why couldn't you leave before you did? The portal would only open for a few seconds. Sometimes one of the sleepers would drift out by chance. They were always near it, and only one could go through. We'd have to fight through the crowd, and I guess it took years for me to make it in time. Besides, we had to avoid him. The blank, the one who made that place. He would merge with anyone he could capture. All they knew would be part of him, and lost the world. He is mad, screaming for thousands of years. Nothing but screaming. He screams about the collective. He thinks it will make him God, but it will be nothing but madness. All he learns, he screams into the void. The blank, why hasn't he left? He is waiting for the right time, the right body. He knows of you. He merged with one of your agents. He screams about SCPs now, and how he must merge with SCP blank and SCP blank. The Foundation will save him. It made no sense at the time, but I understand now. There are people or things in your possession that will make him expunged. Don't let him out. Never let him out. Subject interview ended. Subject -4 began crying. Oh, okay. Jesus. I thought he was calm. Why are you crying, bro? Addendum 3. Interviews with Subject -2 have described an entirely different environment inside the scroll. However, -2 also speaks of a malevolent, insane entity. In light of this, the Foundation has taken measure to expunge. O5 Command ordered experimentation on SCP-911 to cease without clearance from 2 or more O5 level personnel upon reading a transcript of this interview. Yeah, well, whoever's in there, you don't accidentally want them to get out, right? So, might as well stop the experiments for now. This one, compared to what we read just a moment ago, while simpler, I still prefer the other story. Gotta say. Okay. Autonomous SWAT armor. Okay, so it's a SWAT armor that just exists. It just floats around, does everything. It has a shield and gun. It doesn't need a body. It's just an armor that just does the same work as a normal SWAT officer. Whew. Oh, keep yourself hydrated. Okay. Save. SP921. Feels weird. It's part of my lip. SCP-912 is to be kept at research unit blank in a standard containment cell. The door must have a damage resistance rating of 3A or above. Direct physical handling of SCP-912 causes a potentially dangerous reaction and should be avoided except as part of an authorized testing protocol. All researchers involved in SCP-912 must receive briefing 912-002A, safe handling of SCP-912, and SCP-912-002B, dealing with arrest behavior by SCP-912. In the event of arrest by SCP-912, researchers are to offer minimal resistance and await rescue by an associate wearing the uniform of the blank PD. Experiments that involve... I imagine like the suit just like holding you down somehow, even though it doesn't have any arms, it just holds you down. And then like somebody in the same uniform comes by and he just goes like... Yeah, he can't speak, but he's clearly saying like, "Oh, I'm glad you're here. You can take him now." I reduced any of the problems this guy could have done to the environment, to the people. He just gives a thumbs up with like a glove that doesn't have a hand in it. Experiments that involve the use of firearms or the CQ firing range require authorization from Dr. Blank at least 24 hours in advance in order to permit route clearance and schedule deconfliction. Description: SCP-912 consists of several items of police-issue body armor, clothing, and equipment that together form a discrete entity capable of independent movement and action. Both the... Yeah, that makes sense. Both the method by which this ability has been acquired and means by which it has achieved have yet to be identified. The elements that comprise SCP-912 conform to the standards of uniform worn by the blank PD SWAT as of blank 2000 blank. The approximate date of acquisition. Uniform elements float in mid-air as though worn by a man or woman around 165 centimeters, so 2 centimeters taller than me, or 6 feet 1 inch. 6.1 feet in height, but no such presence can be detected. SCP-912 does not directly respond to communication attempts, but will follow simple orders in English given by personnel wearing the uniform of an officer of the blank PD. SCP-912 consists of the following: 1 dark gray blank PD ballistic helmet with transparent face protecting visor, 1 itch in the back. Henry, help! What if Henry actually does? He just like fucking just floats into my back and just like goes like 1 black Nomex tactical balaclava from unknown manufacturer, 1 set navy blue blank PD blank tactical body armor from blank armor lieutenant SWAT insignia printed upon front and back, includes several ammo, grenades, storage pouches, all apparently empty, though SCP-912 resists inspection. 1 pouch contains... Oh, God damn it. Where is the itch? There it is. Plastic cuffs restraint, supplies things to remain constant regardless of arrests made. 1 pair of black knee pads from Black Armor Lieutenant Limited. 1 pair of black elbow pads from Blank Armor Limited. 1 pair of blank steel-toed capped combat boots from the unknown manufacturer. 1 pair of black combat gloves by Blank Armor Limited. Closed and fastened pistol holster suitable for a mid-sized sidearm from unknown manufacturer. 1 53 cm 21 inch telescopic steel baton handle is apparently made from hardened plastic with a textured grip. In its default state, SCP-912 has been assessed to pose no hazard to health, security, or risk of escape when tangled in accordance with -02A and -02B. If given the command arrest subject by a person wearing the uniform of the blank PD, or in the event that SB912 detects an armed individual or individuals within its visual radius, it will commence arrest behavior. SB912 will attempt to disarm and restrain the subject upon the ground, then secure the arms behind the back using a pair of plastic cuffs. The force used in the process of his arrest greatly exceeds a blank PD SWAT guidance and statutory procedures. SB912 frequently inflicts injury to the neck, shoulder, and arms of the arrested individual due to the apparent unawareness or indifference to the mechanical limitation of human anatomy. So he's basically just an American I'm sorry. Chug, hell yeah, you know, gotta keep hydrated. No, don't use it all. I already, oh god damn, okay, I'll take another sip. I hope you're happy. Ah. Resistance on the behalf Muha drawn. You mean drown? Resistance on the behalf of the individual being arrested cause a corresponding increase in force until cessation. SB912 will attack should it detect. Yes, drown. Drawn. It's like, I'm not sure how to drawn. I'm not sure if drinking water will suddenly make me look like a drawing, but SB912 will attack should it detect threatening or hostile behavior towards itself or an individual wearing the uniform of the blank PD. SB912 deploys its telescopic steel baton and approaches the nearest armed subject at an average speed of 5 km per hour. But it only approaches, it's not trying to like, that's not its running speed, because that would be extremely slow. If the armed subject drops the weapon and ceases threatening behavior before SB912 moves into combat range, the normal arrest procedure will be initiated. If the subject initiates hostile action, here it goes. Here's when the song Mortal Kombat starts. Which is also something that is a sound I should probably add to the soundboard. Still holding the weapon when SB912 enters the combat range, SB912 will strike powerful blows at the head and upper arm of the subject for up to a minute after the subject loses consciousness. Once all armed subjects are subdued, arrest behavior proceeds as normal. Fuck, I'm gonna knock it the fuck out. Just frothing out of the mouth. SCP-912 considers the following to be weapons and will initiate attack behavior upon sight. Firearms, bladed weapons, including kitchen knives longer than 10 centimeters, 4 inches in length. Oh boy. Batons, clubs, and similar blunt instruments, tasers and pepper spray redacted, and joy buzzers. SCP-912 will initiate attack behavior when the following are used in a threatening manner. Power and hand tools, knotted rope, length of chain, brass knuckles, sports equipment, example baseball bat, golf clubs, clipboard. Clipboard? That's what every fucking scientist in this foundation has. Oh no, he's like, okay, I'm just gonna write down what it does. And then this arm is gonna be like, put away the clipboard now, boy! But I gotta write it down. Put it away quickly! SB912 only permits an individual it has arrested to be removed from its presence by a person wearing the uniform of the blank PD. An individual wearing the appropriate uniform is not detained by SB912 regardless of ornament except for where physical aggression is shown towards another subject wearing blank PD uniform. SB912 does not react to hostile actions by blank PD uniform personnel towards non-uniformed victims and does not react to hostile action between unarmed individuals not wearing blank PD uniform regardless of injuries sustained. Summary of test results, threat response behavior of SB912. Blank 2000 blank. Listen, I don't know what this arm, if this arm doesn't speak, but he clearly, if he could speak, he's going to say, I'm gonna knock the fuck out. Test remote operated vehicle. Serial number 251686162. With cutting tools activated, implement and approach D3117 restrained to chair. So no response. Test terminated when cutting tool 1.5 centimeters from D3117's throat. Comment: either SB912 does not consider the ROV as a threat, or it doesn't care about the fate of the D-class subject. Test protocols amend on hygiene. Well, I mean, he doesn't understand how the anatomy of human works. He doesn't know that cutting through here would be a bad idea. Remote operated vehicle, serial number. Is it the same serial number? It's the same serial number. With cutting tool activates, implemented and approach D. Yeah. Oh god, my. D3117 was in the same chair. D3117 now wearing blank PD uniform. SB912 attacked the ROV when the cutting tool came within 2 feet of the subject. Attack continued until ROV. Is it ROV or ROV? Because it's a remote operated vehicle, right? ROV? Yeah, like rover. Yeah, ROV. Attack continued until ROV deactivated and remote and stand down. Command given by D3117. Comment: SB912 does not appear to modify behavior in response to a non-humanoid threat. Test: D3073 wearing D-class uniform, order to simulate attacking D3075 wearing D-class uniform. No response. SB912 appeared to be oddly indifferent even when D303 3073 accidentally made full contact with D3075 and inflicted a nosebleed. Test: D3073 wearing blank PD uniform, ordered to simulate attacking D3075 wearing D-class uniform. No response, as suspected based on the evidence in the acquisition reports. Test: D3073 wearing D-class uniform, ordered to simulate attacking D3075 wearing blank PD uniform. SB912 attacked D3073 with telescopic battle until subject unconscious. Then restrained the subject. D3073 hospitalized with suspected broken jaw. Ugh. Primary test went largely as expected. However, when D3075 attempted to intervene to prevent further harm to D3073, he accidentally placed his right hand into the left arm cavity of SB912. D3075 was immediately set upon by SB912 and beaten to death using the telescopic baton and boots. It seems that SB912 will not tolerate violation of the space enclosed by the constituent equipment no matter what uniform is worn. Damn, okay. Damn, really? Don't touch me! I hate when I'm being touched. Test. D3118 armed with 30 centimeters 12-inch knife and D3119 armed with pistol ordered to attack D3126. D3119 ordered to drop weapon before contact. SB912 moved towards D-class subject as soon as their weapons exposed. D3119 initial focus of attention until weapon dropped, at which point SB912 attacked D318, who was disarmed violently. D3118 right hand on forearm suspected fractured. Right index finger amputated in struggle. D319 initially resists arrest by SB912 and has both shoulders dislocated during restraint procedure. Test halted and D-class personnel removed from medical treatment. SB912 places greater emphasis upon guns than melee weapons. Finer insight into the threat hierarchy is achievable but would involve needless waste of D-class personnel. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, I read it correctly. To testing of SB912 in a SWAT-style tactical environment is currently ongoing. Agent Blank and Blank have prior SWAT team experience and are preparing appropriate scenarios on behalf of Dr. Blank. But this guy, when it comes to arrests, don't let this man do it. Don't let this declare. Don't let this don't let this this armor do it, because he's clearly not aware what bones he breaks. Mr. Hungry. Okay, yeah. So I know from from the first 900s, the first time of the 900s, Mr. Chameleon and Mr. Forgetful, that there will be 2 more Misters, which are part of the Dr. Who Entertainment line. And out of the total, what was it again? I forgot how many there are, but out of the there's a couple of them. I think it's more than 9, but there's like 8 of them in the entirety of the first 1000. Oh wait, hold on. Mr. Hungry. So we had Mr. Forgetful, who forgot everything until he wrote like he forgot it in the instant, immediately, unless he wrote it down. But the moment he wrote down whatever has been told to him, or whatever he witnessed, everybody around him forgot it, and he's the only one who can remember it. And then we had Mr. Chameleon, which was like a bunch of protons that look like a human, that just, you know, ate light and camouflage to whatever the background was. Well, not really camouflage, just like hard to see. So Mr. Hungry, I assume he just never stops eating. He's gluttony from Fullmetal Alchemist. That's my theory. Euclid. SB913 is to be contained in a customized humanoid containment cell lined with 1 meter thick carbon steel. SB913 is to be provided with standard humanoid furnishing with pre-recorded entertainment materials provided on request. Access to the cell may be conducted through a reinforced carbon steel door. So he might also eat you if you're not careful. Because, like, you know, it's just like, here you go, here's your hamburger. He's got my arm! Once every 2 hours, SB913 is to be provided with 1 nutritional supplement, as outlined in Document 2. SB913 is fitted with a central venous catheter to facilitate nutrition. The subject is to be provided with intravenous nutritional supplements while sleeping. Catheter is to be changed once every 3 months. Out of current regulation on Misters, SB913 is to be contained in hull blank of side blank. Yeah, I think they're all like pretty much in the same area, I assume at least. Maybe not. Maybe they're all in different areas. SB913 appears to be a middle-aged African-American male with an extremely fast metabolism. Hey, that's me! Well, I'm not African-American, but my metabolism is pretty good. Pretty solid, pretty quick. SB913 requires the recommended daily caloric intake for a normal human every 2 hours and has an internal temperature of redacted. So he needs to eat like at least between around 3,000 calories worth every 2 hours. Jesus, that is. The Rock wishes he could keep up with this. Listen, I love The Rock. Okay, it's just a joke at him. I hope he understands. As if he's gonna see this. It's not like The Rock goes like, oh man, I really hope that Afrofluff has uploaded one of his SCP videos today. Been looking forward to it. I was like working out while watching his SCP videos. SCP-913 will enter into a trance state if not fed the specified amount of calories in a 2 hour period. While affected, SCP-913 will break down and ingest any solid matter within sight. This ingestion can include normally indigestible matter such as wood, plastics, and metals, and does not distinguish between living subjects or in other material. See, that's my okay. So he might actually bite your hand off. He's like, I don't care. It's food. So that's metal. Working metal of iron. As long as they will force SCP-913 to awaken if sleeping. Oh, so even in his sleep, like after 2 hours, he's gonna be like, gotta eat. Just straight up food. SB913 is aware of his actions while in his state and expresses extreme discomfort following the ingestion of denser material. Oh god, yeah, imagine he eats a whole an entire pipe and he's just like, oh, the shit's gonna be bad. It's gonna be, you know, when you have like really spicy burritos, and you know it's not really sitting well. It's gonna be worse than that. SB913 can rend objects with an estimated force of 3,000 newtons and can bite objects with an estimated force of 5,000 newtons while eating. SB913 is unable to display this strength outside of his trance state. Okay, so only once he's like in the hunger, it's like Examination of SB913's liver tissue shows that it will produce new enzymes in response to foreign materials. These enzymes will metabolize the substrate at 98% efficiency, effectively detoxifying any drugs or toxins. This includes amnestics and anesthetics. SB913 was discovered at entrance expunged of site blank. Addendum 1. The words Mr. Hungry from Little Misters by Dr. One Entertainment are tattooed upon SB913's right half. Upon discovery, SB913 has been wearing a shirt and dress pants, both with the brand name Dr. Order soon. The tax. This designation appears as 7 in documents. Yeah, this is the one where we can see all the different numbers. So there's 20, and I believe there's like yeah, I feel bad for this guy because like he just has hunger, man. He's just hungry. But yeah, there's 9 here. So, and as you can see, there's like the majority of them are in the 900s. So almost halfway. That's what it was. Almost halfway of all the misters are in the first 1,000. Who knows when the other misters show up in the next, between 1,000 and 2,000, or between 2,000 and 3,000? We don't know. We don't know. Man, I feel bad for you, Mr. Hungry. I mean, imagine like you're so hungry you can't even sleep. You just wake up and you're just like, I need food. Give me food. Give me food. Give me fire. Give me that what I desire. Ooh. The Clockworks. I don't know why I immediately thought of Clockwork Orange, and like the main character, you know, he's like he's in this fucking thug group. I imagine them. So that's all I can. That's now stuck in my head. I don't know what they actually are. At least these SCPs are short, because man, God, imagine if all the SCPs were as long as 910. Fuck, I would be here till like 7 in the morning. Safe. The rating. This is rated high. It's also, is this the 4th safe? All of them were safe before, right? Except, of course, Egyptian Book of the Dead. I think all of them were safe, yeah. Only personnel who submit a formal request and receive approval from Site Command may operate 914. SB914 is to be kept in Research Cell 109B with 2 guard personnel on duty at all times. Any researchers entering SB109B are to be accompanied by at least 1 guard for the entirety of testing. A full list of tests to be carried out must be given to all guard personnel on duty. Any deviation from this list will result in termination of testing, forcible removal of personnel from 109B, and formal discipline at Site Command's discretion. And in the picture it says, one of the least complex sections of SB914 in a non-active state. Warning, at this time no testing of biological matter is allowed. Refer to document 109B, 117. Applying the rough setting to explosive material is not advised. Description. SB914 is a large clockwork device weighing several tons and covering an area of 18 square meters, consisting of screwdrivers, belts and pulleys, gears, springs, and other clockwork. That almost sounds like another thing that we read just recently. Well, it was also like all just like a machine, right? Yeah, 882 is a machine which is also just this mass of gears, clocks, and all that stuff. Except that you have to feed it metal, and people got a bit crazy. And not only did they feed it everything that was metallic, they started feeding it humans because it has because we have blood, we have iron in our blood, and that was enough for the machine to be like, yeah, I like that. Gotta say it a bit differently. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It is incredibly complex, consisting of over 8 million moving parts, comprised mostly of tin and copper, with some wooden and cloth items observed. Observation and probing have showed no electronic assemblies or any form of power other than the mainspring under the selection panel. Two large booths, 2 meters times 2.1 meters times 2.1 meters, or 10 times 7 times 7 feet, are connected via copper tubes to the main body of SCP-914, labeled intake and output. Between them is a copper panel with a large knob with a small arrow attached. The words rough, coarse, 1, fine, and very fine are positioned at points around the knob. Below the knob, the knob is a large key that winds the mainspring. When an object is placed in the intake booth, a door slides shut and a small bell sounds. If the knob is turned to any position and the key wound up, SB-914 will refine the object in the booth. No energy is lost in the process, and the object appears to be in stasis until output booth door is opened. Intense observation and testing have not shown how SCP-914 accomplishes this, and no test object has ever been observed inside SCP-914 during the refining process. The process takes between 5 and 10 minutes depending on the size of the object being refined. Now let's see what kind of refining it does. Addendum 514 Dr. Blank test log. Input 1 kilogram of steel, setting rough. Output pile steel chunks of various sizes appearing to be cut by laser. Ooh. Zoom, zoom. Okay, input 1 kilogram of steel, setting 1. Output 1 kilogram of steel screws. Hey, that's kind of neat. I can see why this is considered safe, because like you can literally just. This is like every engineer's or like anybody who builds stuff favorite toy. Already halfway through from this 1 liter. Input 1 kilogram of steel, setting fine. 1 kilogram of steel carbon tax. 1 kilogram of steel, setting very fine. Several gases that dissipate into the air quickly, and 1 gram of unknown metal resistant to heat of 50,000 degrees, impossible to bend or break with any force, and a near perfect 1.6 times 1000 in the power of minus 75 pay conductor of electricity. Damn, son, this thing is fine. This thing is fine. Oh, this thing is. It's nice. Okay, input 1 wristwatch belonging to Dr. Blank, setting course. 1 complete disassembled wristwatch. Hey, that's nice. So does it always disassemble, or like whatever you put? So it doesn't ever put it back together though. 1 cell phone belonging to Blank, setting 1. 1 cell phone, although different make and model. Interesting. One sound called Python Revolver setting very fine. They look expunged. Aforementioned blank completely disintegrated all mass in its line of fire. Object contained with high density gamma waves. Okay, don't put a weapon in it. One white mouse setting setting one brown mouse. One chimp setting fine, they look expunged. One chimp setting rough, badly mutilated corpse showing signs of crushing and cutting with high heat. Ugh. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god. Please don't be long. Please don't be long. Please don't be long. It's not long. Oh god. Because I remember I had this one experiment log that was like fucking forever. Gotta check on my different friend. Gotta check on a different friend to see if she woke up right now. I woke up like this. What time is it for her? Okay, it's still early for her, so we good. We good. What was I? Document 109B 117 Dr. Blank and Dr. Blank test log. Subject D186, male Caucasian, 42-year-old, 108 kilograms, 185 centimeters tall. Setting 1-1. Male Hispanic, 42 years old, 100 kilograms, 188 centimeters tall. Subject was very confused and agitated. Subject attacked security personnel. Subject terminated. Because he's not who he's used to be anymore. Subject D187, male Caucasian, 28-year-old, 28-year-old, not 26. 63 kilograms, 173 centimeters tall, standing very fine. They respond. Subject escaped from test chamber, killing 8 guards as well as Dr. Blank and Dr. Blank. Lockdown initiated. Subject causes containment failure of 3 SB areas and continued escape attempts. Special response team engaged subject, resulting in severe wounding of subject, partial memory loss, and special response team members and corrosive damage with plumbing. Subject expired several hours later, dissolving into blue ash and blinding nearby research team. Biological testing with SCP-914 discontinued. No, because of the nature of this SCP, as a wide range of test data would be helpful. Dr. Diaz has ordered that any researcher can have access for non-biological testing if they are themselves or they are supervised by a level 3 researcher. All testing is to be recorded in file 913E, experiment log for 914. That's the 913 before, sorry, 914. But biological testing will continue only with prior clearance by O5 command. As long as you want to try something mundane that isn't alive, feel free to help accumulate data. Okay, let's see what this does. Let's see what all this stuff is. I'm scared. Oh god, what the fuck? Oh god, okay. Oh, no, please stop. Oh god, this is the longest. It's gonna be the longest SCP reading of my fucking life. 2 hours already passed. Are we usually done or close to done by now? And we haven't even reached. We're only at the halfway point. Site 19 facility, 23 dosium, 12 December 1988. Redacted USA. Redacted government warehouse. Containment research area of 0.025 square kilometers. Personnel. Director of Hake, Director of Research, Dr. Lucius Foy, Director of Containment, Dr. Mason Norwood, Security Chief, Agent Alan Setnat, Administrative Personnel 18, Maintenance Personnel 21, Research Personnel 47, D-Class Personnel 25, Other for Facility Plan. Hey, cool, we got actually to see how the facility... I mean... I highly doubt that's the case. I just want to look at this. Okay. Oh shit, come on. Details. Parking lot, a flat concrete area located behind the facility building design allows minimal visibility while transporting an enormous object. That makes sense. a room for serving food to one's maintenance personnel office, back break room, personal residence, 2-story research personnel office, multi-purpose rooms used for meetings, personal personal, research cell, the incinerator room, research. Okay, I don't need more of this. Thank you very much. Additional information: Site 19, Facility 23, located in Redacted, is a facility specifically to contain SB914 and its anomalous products. It is part of the larger Site 19 administration. Facility 23 was originally built in 1988 as an isolated containment facility for multiple large anomalous items. Following anomalous items A blank's reclassification as SB9114 in 2008, it was moved into Facility 23, and the facility was converted into a research establishment for the purpose of SB914 research. Dr. Charles Gears, former director of Euclid Level Containment at Site 19, was transferred to Facility 23 to oversee its research. Testing of SB914 began on September 9th of that year. During April 2017, Facility 23 was expanded and partly rebuilt to accommodate the increasing number of researchers and a large amount of testing products accumulated over the years. Dr. Arthur Hackett and Dr. Lucius Reuters were transferred to Facility 23 to replace Director Dr. Charles Years as Director of Administration and Research, respectively. As of 30th 4th 2022, Facility 23 has conducted over blank individual tests on SB914. A log of all tests that have been conducted can be accessed below. Also, why is there a footnote here? On the circumstances, that's a lot of. On the circumstances specified in Section 3 of the SB Foundation Policy on the Handling of Anomalous Phenomena and Ethics Committee Ruling 10A 0344, retroactive classification for unauthorized neutralization of anomalies. How to contribute? What do you mean? Reasons for adding your own entry. Oh, this is an experiment log sample. You can post a log here, and the moderator will approve to oh, that's cool. Oh, I want to read. Okay, I'm gonna read this afterwards. Let's see here. Part 1. Oh god. Notes to all research include your name on all records, along with the date and the total number of items refined. Researchers are responsible for all outputs. Should damage or loss of life occur, the research will be subject to administrative review or possible disciplinary action. Biological testing has been suspended. Any biological testing must be cleared by O5 command. All test logs should be written in this form: name, date, total items, input, setting, output. Oh my god, this is only the first one! Oh! We're only what? Sweet juice. Okay, no. No. I don't think I'm gonna read this in my own peace and quiet. If I want to do this all on the stream right now, gee, I'm gonna be here till fucking 3 in the morning. Oh Lord, I'm gonna do the first part, but Jesus Christ, that's a lot to read. That's a whole book. Okay, I'm gonna do the first part, but then afterwards we'll have to go. Test 11828 U5 tests on the nature and construction of SB914. With approval from O5 command, a single gear was removed from one of the outer sections of SB914. Placement was carefully documented and was in a location that would not release tension on any belts or damage any documented sections. Testing area was cleared and sealed after placing a steel block in the intake booth. D0014 was dispatched to SB914 and instructed to turn the key and activate SB914. D0014 reported that the key won't catch, and the key was observed to turn several times without tightening the mainspring. No activity of any kind was observed from SB914 during this time. Missing gear was replaced with an identical copy and comprised of the same metal brass as original. Steel block reinserted into the intake booth, and SB914 was active on the 101 setting. SCP-914 observed to operate normally with a slight pause of 3.5 seconds after winding the key. After refining, output observed to be a solid steel sphere with the same volume as the original steel block. Original gear returned to SCP-914. Nope, well thank god we can at least repair the damn thing if we damage it, assuming we can find what's broken in it. Hell, maybe it's already broken, I don't know. This damn thing hurts my head, Dr. Black. Okay, here we go. Test. Test 101. I'm just gonna say that, just to keep it easy. Dr. Gears, 2000 blank, 4 clockwork pocket watch belonging to Dr. Gears. One gold-plated pocket watch. One gold-plated pocket watch fine. Small clockwork bird when the tail is pressed, it produces a robin call. One gold-plated pocket watch fine. Toy clockwork train engine. One gold-plated pocket watch fine. Miniature grandfather clock fully functional. One gold-plated pocket watch fine. Small metal sculpture of a piano. Note, it appears there is a high level of randomness when SCP-914 refines an item. However, it seems to preserve some elements of its original composition. In this example, clockwork, this is not a law, but a high probability. Refine metal bar and you're more likely to get simple metal objects than an internal combustion engine. Both, however, are possible, Dr. Gears. 102. Dr. Gears, blank by blank. 3 copies of all documentation, photographs, and test logs accumulated in relation to SCP-914. 1 copy of SCP-914 documentation, 101. Photo containing all previously entered documents arranged in chronological order. Hey, nice. 1 copy of SCP-914 documentation, fine. Hardbound book containing 400 pages. No diagrams, photos, or other visual aids of any kind are included. The pages appear to be solid black, but microscopic. Microscopic examination shows each page to be covered in approximately 20,000 characters. The text has no correlation with any known writing style and is not in a linear format with sentences constructing from individual characters spread out between many pages. Each sentence requires an exceedingly complex formula to decode, with each formula unique to each sentence. Current decoding work has resulted in 2 partially translated sentences after 225 hours work hours. Item appears to be a record of internal structure of SCP-914. Input: 1 copy of SCP-914 documentation, very fine, single sheet of paper, weighs exactly the same as the entered documentation. The sheet of paper to be a single page from the entered SCP-914 documentation. However, when flipped over to the right, the reverse side is the following page in sequence. When flipped over to the left side, the opposite side is the preceding page in sequence. No new documentation is included, but this item is significantly easier to store, if more time consuming to browse. Yeah, because you have to it's screwing with us, you know that, right? I don't care if it's been proven that it has no self-awareness, this thing is laughing at us, general blank. Note, there seems to be some difficulty as to the meaning of fine and coarse on the settings. The machine appears to be capable of refining input based either on scale of complexity, loss of entropy accompanied by increase in connectivity between components, and or acquisition of the subject's meaning, or simplification, separation into composition materials, and loss of meaning. Dr. Gears. What's this one called again? This one is called The Clockworks, man, and this is one of the most probably one of the most famous ones. Then, okay, 103. How many other 109? Okay. Jesus Christ. This props to this guy for writing all these. It's gonna take. If I were to, if 910 wasn't as long as it was, where I had to take an hour and a half to read through it, I would gladly read for a lot of this. But I'm not sure if I want to do a 4 to 5 hour stream of reading. That's gonna fuck my voice up, and then I have to do that again tomorrow. No, thank you. Dr. Grangan, blank, 5 adult male cadavers. 1 cadaver rough, a pile of human remains, limbs, organs, and bones all appear to have been roughly separated via tearing action and high heat. Output described as unsettling. 1 cadaver coarse, pile of human remains, all organs and bones have been removed by some form of cutting tool. The skin, nervous systems, digestive systems, and circulatory system all appear to have been removed without severing or damaging any of the tissues involved. Results frozen for study. 1 cadaver, 1 setting. 1 Asian male cadaver. Original cadaver was identified as Caucasian. 1 cadaver, fine. One cadaver containing SB-008, subject immediately incinerated. Isn't SB-008 the zombie plague? Yeah, the zombie plague. Yes, yes. I remember that. One cadaver, very fine green slime, properties and chemical structure determined by the identical to SB-447 2, which was ball of green slime. Yes, it's a ball of green slime. If it touches the corpse, something extremely dangerous will happen. Yep. By order of 05 dash blank, cadavers may no longer be tested in SB-914 in order to minimize the possibility of SB-447-2 coming in contact with dead bodies. Yeah, because that shit doesn't go well. Test 104, Dr. Euro's one pill of SB-500. That's the pill that heals anything. One pill, fine. One ornate metal locket, now classified as SB-427. That one was the Lovecraftian locket. It's a locket that can regenerate all damage to the body and heal all infection. Yeah, it did say that. I remember that. It did say that it was made out of one of the pills. That's dope. Yeah, I like that. 105. Dr. Samala Ken. Two identical wooden cross pendants. 7.6 centimeters, 3 inches long. One cross, rough. One fragment of wood of the same mass, cut flat on 3 sides. This may be fragments of a larger cross. One cross, fine. One wooden crucifix with intricately detailed carving of Jesus Christ. Damn. This may imply that SB-914 has an understanding of religion. More experiments with religious items are indicated. Dr. Senf. This test may indicate that SB-914 understands the use of input objects and not simply their function. Recommend testing with medicines reliant on the placebo effect to ascertain if outputs provide actual medicinal solutions to problems. There we go, medicinal. That's all I wanted to say. Dr. Pirus. Test 106. Dr. Gibbons, $300 $100 will be used for each setting. $100 course, a pile of ink and a small pile of cotton and plastic weighing roughly as much as the original currency. €175. Hey, 100. That would be if you wanna change your money into whatever country you're going to, but you have to be lucky. So. Okay, not gonna do that again. Gonna leave my keyboard down here. $100, fine. A shareholder's note for soap from corpse products worth $100. It is unknown whether 914 selected a foundation font of a pure whimsy or because of some other criteria. As in blank, soap from corpse products shares skyrocketed, and the aforementioned fine output is now worth blank USD. It is under investigation if 914 selected soap from corpses products because it knew it was going to rally, or if it was a matter of pure luck. Test 107. Dr. Blank, 5 bronze because of the Pioneer 10 and 11 plagues. 1 plague on each setting. Rough multiple bronze cubes and 2 bronze spheres. Course 105 grams of copper ore and 15 grams of tin ore. Several CDs. Tests revealed them to contain the same data as the Voyager Gold record. Setting fine, a record-sized bronze disc. Testing shows that using the optic with a record player will play a record of a currently unidentified voice describing the content and meanings of the Pioneer Plague. Very fine, a bronze gyroscope, 15 centimeters tall. A needle in the center continuously points in one direction. Testing has confirmed that no matter the position of the gyroscope, this needle points towards our sun. Test 108. Blank, 5 pounds raw ground beef. Damn. 1 pound raw ground beef, rough. 1 pound beef slurry. 1 pound raw ground beef, fine. 1 pound medium cooked round steak. Fine again. 1 pound pile of beef jerky, very fine. 2.5 pound flank steaks, well done, likely to result in gravy. Very fine. Data response, subject terminated with no casualties. 109. Blank, 5 IRS form 1040 blank. I don't know what that means. One IRS form. Oh yeah, the IRS. Of course it is. Rough, several hundred thin paper strips. Coarse. One block of wood. Wet with strong smelling liquid. Tests indicate the liquid to be composed of a variety of chemicals used in the paper making process. 101. One IRS form. 4686. Fine. One IRS form. 104 with all blank space, including margins and backs of pages filled with imprecations against the IRS and taxation in general in the following languages in order of quantity of text from the greatest to least: Basque, Kenya, see below, Sumerian, Cherokee, an unidentifiable language with a writing system composed of curved symbols. Classical Chinese, English from the cursors used apparently circa 1650 to 1750. As a long study of the unidentifiable symbols, Dr. Blank could identify no commonality with any of the other languages present on the form. The Sumerian contained 3 words unattested from any known text. The Kenya had its cursing of the IRS interspersed with vituperation of someone or something called Morgoth. One IRS form, very fine. One IRS form MXL filled out of the year 35 and with the name given as Gaius Caesar. Okay, and all the monetary amounts given in Roman numerals with the word denari and ended afterwards. And this is just the beginning. Please be shorter. Oh lord, no, I don't even think I can do this. No, I will with a heavy heart have to skip this for now. I want to read it, but not in stream, because this is going. If all of them are this long, like if all of them have this many, yeah, all of them have fucking. This dude, it's gonna take me forever. It's gonna take me. Yeah, it's gonna take me forever to read through all this. Read it all? Nah. No, I ain't. I wanted to watch Vox Machina with my friend in like an hour. So, nah, not gonna do that. I will read it all, just not on stream, dude. Because this will take me way too long. Okay. But I will definitely read it. Read faster than you have 1 hour. I still have to go through 5 more SCPs afterwards. Have you seen how many? Have you seen how many of these shits there are? There's at least, oh my god, there's fucking almost 20. There's 20 of these, and each of them have 10. And then there's this stuff down here. And then I still have to read these 5. I'm not going to like be able to read that all in an hour. That would be insane. I would have to like just not pay attention to what I'm reading. And that's not the point behind this. So I'll read it off stream to my shelf. The mechanotesseract computer. What the I read mecha and tesseract, so that's must be some sort of like supercomputer on the next sci-fi level. Euclid. Special containment procedures. All mecha Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, maybe it's a T-Rex or some dinosaur inside its computer. All exploration of the interior of 915 must be documented with a complete manifest of all personnel and equipment to be taken into 915. Declaration of intent to explore the interior or experiment with the computational abilities of SB915 must be declared 1 week in advance. No interior exploration can take place while the computational abilities of 915 are being tested. Also, no computation tests can be initiated while exploration or maintenance is taking place within 915. All interior exploration are to be limited to a period of 1 hour. Longer forays require special dispensation from the lead researcher, Dr. Faudrey. All explorers are to be physically linked to a high-density nylon core which is anchored at a point outside 915. Standardized testing protocols of the specification of 915 are to be applied to both 915 and a block of computers, which are considered experimental controls. These controls computers are specified as model HP Slimline S3600F. Description: SB915 is a mechanical computation device with a highly non-Euclidean internal configuration. It was a result of experimentation involving the effect of blank upon SB914, the one we just read. Despite appearing entirely mechanical, 915 completely replicates the capabilities of the input device. One HP Slimline S3600F desktop computer. It appears that that 915 exceptional topology makes these computational specifications possible. The current theory suggests that the extensive outpocketing in space and time allows computation per second that would be associated with a mechanical device to be superseded. The exterior of 915 is a metal cube with size of 1.3 meters in length. Plastic inserts can be found on all edges, presumably as a safety measure to prevent contact with sharp metal seams. One side of the metal cube is able to be removed, allowing access into the interior of 915. Opposite this access point is a articulated metal arm leading up to 915's display. This metal arm is composed of several pistons which have the effect of precisely changing the tapestry that is the primary element of 915's display. 915's display consists of a tapestry woven in an extremely dense fashion held inside a metal enclosure. Despite the intensity of the tapestry, it is still able to be manipulated by mechanical arms inside the enclosure to a high degree of precision. This precise manipulation is to be able to fundamentally alter the appearance of the tapestry in controlled ways. Due to its effect on RA 915's continued research involving the knot theory at work in 915's display has been suspended. Dr. Faudrey. The interior of 915 is a mass of gears and clockwork as well as more esoteric mechanical components used in computation. A constant mechanical drone as well as deeper sounds of grinding can be heard within 915. These sounds all experience modulation and distortion predicted to be the result of the non-standard topology 915 possesses. 915 maintains passageways through its interior, presumably to assist in the occasional maintenance of 915. When 915 requires maintenance, it will display a summary of the required repair as well as displaying a map leading to a site within 915 where maintenance is required. The interior of 915 experiences constant shifts, making navigation very difficult. Further, maintaining radio contact is complicated by the topology of 915, often leading to delays and weakening of transmission only a few meters from the entrance. While some success has been accomplished using physical contact such as high-density nylon cord, instances have been recorded where the cord has been severed, embedded in portions of 915's interior, or with portions seemingly curled back upon themselves, with the ends somehow fused together. The interior is often unsettling to the subjects and investigators. Many cases of disorientation, nausea, and fainting have been reported within 915. It is indeterminate how much of these symptoms are a result of the sensory corruption due to the non-Euclidean nature of 915, and how much is the direct effect on humanity of exposure to locally non-flat space-time. The internal configuration of 915 appears to be related to computation performed by the device, with more extensive computation requiring a large degree of internal reorganization. The power source of 915 seems to be inflating air from the exterior environments. The source of this pressure gradient and the ultimate disposition of the infalling gas is indeterminate at this time. See Appendix 915A. Addenda 915A. The team 915J5 found the edge of the interior of 915. They described it as a great wall of blackness. They said it swallowed the light from the flashlight, but it seemed more probable that there simply wasn't anything for the lights to reflect off of. Further, the team described an eerie whistling as a wind from the interior of 915 blew out to the void. Is this a possible power source? Is the interior of 915 suspended in a large void and derives from power from the pressure gradient between our atmosphere and this vacuum? Further investigation is warranted, assuming we can find the edge again, of course. Dr. Forday. 915B. Dr. Snowlison was recently lost within the interior of SCP-915 for over a month. Despite this, his body showed no signs of dehydration or malnutrition. However, other ancillary factors such as hair growth indicate that he experienced several months of subjective time while within at 915. Further investigation is warranted. However, Dr. Snowlison is being reassigned and will not be available to experimenters for comment. 915C. I've decided to release some of my assistant's research notes in light of recent events involving researcher 915-C, Dr. Fordway, 915D. In light of the investigation taken of the material related to research of this device, as well as further anomalous events originating in the interior of 915, research on 915 has been suspended at this time. It seems interaction with SCP-915 tend to fall into two categories. Most reject the non-Euclidean geometry that 915 displays, ending with a surface appreciation of these traits and mental equilibrium intact. However, a few cases have emerged of researchers and agents internalizing their experiences with 915 in a way detrimental to their mental health. Further, it appears to intimate knowledge of the workings of 915 may allow one so affected to include preternatural effects in one's environment. We have taken steps to determine who is most susceptible to this damaging insight. While no concrete results have emerged, current evidence suggests that mathematicians and artists concerned with appreciation and understanding of space and shape are the most likely to internalize the experience of 915, Dr. Fordway. Personal log of... Okay, at least this one is short. 9/12/2007. The purpose of his first excursion is, well, to fix 915. 2 weeks ago, 915 reported a need to replace gasket epsilon druggy, or druggy, how the fuck, I don't know, and print a map of a portion of its interior in addition to a necessary instruction to repair 915. The first impression I got of the interior of 915 is the noise. Voices, even when the source is within 2 feet, seemed deadened. Inflection is lost as though the air was somehow thicker. However, the operation of 915 produced a wide menagerie of sounds. Additionally, each sound seems strangely altered. It reminds of that clip I heard in college, Lucifer something. Annotation: I'm recalling Alvin Lucius. I'm sitting in a room. Even the deep sounds I think might come from a large hydraulic action have a distinct buzz. There's also a very high-pitched hum that fades in and out. Mercifully, it's never very loud. It does play havoc with understanding what some of the team says though. This excursion is considered a success. We followed the map precisely and the gasket was repaired. 9/28/2007. Oh my god. Now that Dr. Fordway has us entering SB-915 to wander around, technically we've been mapping and cataloging portions of the interior of 915. We used spray paint laced with a form of radioisotope to do the tagging. Fordway hopes that perhaps we can start to identify patterns in the geometry of 915. It's so relentlessly mechanical, perhaps the non-Euclidean following reciprocation. I cannot say anymore. I cannot speak. Reciprocating cycles as well. Fuck it. 10/1/2007. 2007. We lost a member of the team. No one can quite explain how it happened. The team leader thinks we noticed it only a few seconds after it happened, but how can we be sure? At 13:45, when we set up the ideogram, he was there. At 1352, D4605 reported that someone was missing. Her count was incorrect. It was soon established that the missing party was D354. Team leaders immediately checked the nylon cord for cuts. There was none despite the fact that D3354 connection point was missing. This is very speculative, but it almost seems that the cord was folded back on itself in extra-dimensional space, so that the portion of the cord containing D3354 connection point was, guess the best way to put it would be, butted off. The team leader had us leave the interior of 915 once we established the nylon core was intact. Surprisingly, it only took 10 minutes of travel time to reach the entrance. Also, the system we put in place seemed to be subverted by 915's internal geometry. Each member of the team is equipped with transponders that constantly broadcast a IFOF tag and constantly keep track of each team member's IFF. The transponder of the team didn't stop receiving D3354's tag until 10th 1st 2007. All experimentation probing the capabilities of SB915 have halted for the time being, so the rotating teams can conduct a 24-hour research of the interior of 915. That's all we get. Though the capabilities of 915 replicate in every respect a modest Hewlett Packard personal computer, the overseers wish to continue to test if 915 is capable of being coaxed to more performance. 11/6/2007. Well, we finally found samples of our radioisotope. It's key to D3354's can. The weird thing, though, is that it's not the Foundation-approved ideogram. Perhaps it's an attempt to communication the part of the 3354. The disturbing part is how childish the scrawl looks. It's almost like whoever made this was finger painting. I'm at a loss to what it means. We put each person exposed to the interior of SB915 through extensive psychological testing, and there has been no evidence of any intelligence reduction. 11/10/2007. The fingerprints are not those of D3354. They are not of any Foundation employee. What? 11/15/2007. We found a child's tea set. Well, we found what looks like a teapot and cups. They were made of gears. There was a table too. It looked like it was made of pistons and hydraulic chambers within an exterior wire mesh. We found a clockwork doll nearby, about 1 feet in length. It looks like it has been damaged or thrown. The arm is attached, and there are a few pieces of damaged clockworks around where it lay. There was tea in the teapot. It was very warm. The conclusion is starting to seem undeniable that somehow the interior of 915 has been subverted by either a group or individual unaffiliated with the Foundation. Ooh. Ooh. I can feel it already that reading for this long is taking a toll on my body. I'm reaching that point where I'm trying to speak or read something that sometimes it just doesn't come out correctly. Man's best friend. Must be a dog. Maybe. Okay. Safe. SB916 is to be kept in a locked, soundproofed kennel of appropriate size for a dog of its breed. It is a dog. It is to be fed a species-appropriate meal twice per day, and its kennel is to be cleaned regularly. Give me my slippers, please. My feet are getting cold. Personnel should attempt to provide stimulation to SB916. Though the provision of a companion dog in its containment area and/or regular exercise is in a larger containment area. While this is not mandatory, insufficient stimulation has previously resulted in physical illness for SB916. Personnel in contact with SB916 are advised to wear noise-cancelling devices to avoid unnecessary contact with SB916-1. Should SB916 unexpectedly enter its active state, it may be safely transported to and locked in its kennel. Test subject should be checked for any potential implements of self-harm before testing, and guard personnel ought to maintain at least one non-lethal means of subduing test subject. SB916 is an adult male golden retriever. Aww. It is identical to any other dog of its breed, other than its exceptionally longevity. How long has it lived? SB916 was recovered by the Foundation on August 26, 1977. Well, we don't know how many years have passed by now, but I guess it's like 2000 something now, and that's why it's like, ooh. Researchers and test subjects report its demeanor to be exceptionally friendly. Anomalous effects occur between 15 minutes and 1 hour after initial contact with a human subject. SB916 will begin this active phase by becoming docile and attempting to lie down next to the subject. After several seconds of immobility, SB916 will begin to completely suppress any pain felt by individuals in contact with it. Subjects report this effect to decrease with distance and to cease at 12 meters from the object. Aww. It's a therapy dog. Within 3 minutes of being in its active phase, one or more instances of -1. To date, 44 separate instances of -1 have been identified will appear. -1 manifests as localized human voices, which originate approximately 2 meters away from the subject. These voices may be recorded and interacted with by the subject, but will generally not appear if multiple persons are present. Universally, -1 claim to be individuals who have been helped to die by SB916. These voices are able to provide names and detailed information with corroborate this claim, of which 91% have been confirmed. Assuming that these events did occur in the presence of SB916, the object will be at least blank years old. So okay, now that's a triple digit number that's being blanked out, so it's pretty old. -1 has been shown to use a wide variety of tactics to attempt to persuade the subject to commit suicide. In the presence of SB916, generally these attempts can be broken down into 4 phases. Phase 1. Excuse me. -1 makes verbal contact with the subject, generally using soft, gentle tones. -1 will allay the common fear response to this embodied voice by explaining that they are invisible. These voices introduce themselves and attempt to establish rapport with subject. Phase 2. If not already aware of the effects, -1 will point out the elimination of pain in the subject. Voices often ask the subject to bite his or her own tongue or to pinch him or herself to demonstrate the effect. -1 attributes this to SB916 healing powers. Phase 3. -1 attempts to persuade the subject that suicide is a better option than the current condition. This often includes vivid description of a heaven-like afterlife, assurance that the subject need not to worry about condition in the physical world, and encouragement to do so immediately in SB916 presence to avoid pain during the short trip home. Phase 4. -1 suggests viable options for suicide depending on the subject's circumstances. Researchers are commonly advised to thrust a writing instrument into their own eye socket. D-class subjects are told to make a false escape, attempt to do so as to be shot by security. Records indicate that the severing the tongue and bleeding out was uncritically suggested. However, during an early test, this was attempted by the subject, and medical personnel were able to save the victim. This method has not been suggested by any instance of -1 since. Any phase may be interrupted by sufficient disturbing SB916 itself or simply leaving the room, returning it to an inactive state. Note: due to the incident -3C, resulted in the deaths of numerous personnel. One of these 3, D21943, D21978, and Dr. Christopher Blank were within 20 meters of SB916 at the time of the deaths. These personnel have been identified as -1-42 till 44 respectively. SB916 was not directly involved. Instances of -1 now have in-depth knowledge of Foundation procedures and personnel. Since that event, -1-42 till 44 have consistently informed all Class D test subjects of Foundation termination schedule in an attempt to persuade the Class D subject to end it now painlessly. Due to the efficacy of this technique, testing on Class D subject is currently suspended. That dog. Okay, we're back to one of the misters again. I am so tired. It's almost midnight, and we still have 3 more to go. Mr. Moon. His head's the shape of the moon. He's a McDonald's, the old school McDonald's commercial moon that floated around and sang. Oh god. I'm seriously. Damn, dude. I'm trying to think if I should make reading SCP-91 for all the tests. If I should make its own video out of it, not a stream, but its own video. SCP-917 is to be kept in a standard humanoid containment cell. Music and literature may be made available in requests. I need to. Music and literature may be made available on request. Is he actually the McDonald's moon? 1-8 is to be assigned to SCP-917 at all times. 8 is to be rotated on 6-hour shifts. SCP-917 may request to be left in solitude at any time. However, this privilege is restricted to 4 hours a day. A basic Braille-based communication book has been supplied to SCP-917. Simple communication may be performed through this medium, as well as agreed upon hand signals. Personnel are instructed to not awaken SCP-917 while a new moon phase unless absolutely required, as this may cause panic in the subject. Personnel are to wait until SCP-917 gives the agreed upon signal before interaction. SCP-917 suffers from moderate arthritis and is to be supplied with medication when feeding is possible. As of current regular, yeah, that's the same as always. Description. This document better be fucking short, I swear to god. Oh yeah, it's the same thing as always. SCP-917 appears to be an elderly Caucasian male. Subject facial features appear to degenerate and regenerate in relation to the lunar cycle. Ah. Okay. Completely disappearing during the new moon and normal to... How much longer do I have this? It is running out of music as well. Completely disappearing during the new moon and normal during the full moon. Subject ears, eyes, nose, and mouth will disappear, but facial wrinkles remain. This degeneration and regeneration mimics the phase of the moon, beginning at the left ear and crossing the subject's face. Subject has explained that the experiences is painless, but leaves him blind, deaf, and mute when the related features are absent. SCP-917 does not seem to need to eat, drink, or breathe when features are absent. However, it has explained that it feels extremely tired while suffering from lunar phases. During an eclipse state or expunged, it is considered safe and does not cause long-term harm to the object. SCP-917 was discovered at the entrance. Yep, and then where is it? At the do upon the right calf. Okay, so a lot of them have the right calf. One of them had the left calf though. Upon discovery, SCP-917 had been wearing a coat, dress shirt, and slacks, all with the brand name doctor's orders sewn into the tags, at least similar to the one held by SCP-909, has also been found in the left pants pocket. Yeah, he's number 13, Mr. Moon. Oh yeah, this document shown was in the possession of SCP-917. SCP-905 stated that it lost his copy in the breeze. SCP-909 had a similar list, which can be found document. Yep. And SCP-913 apparently ingested its own copy. Makes sense. He eats everything. SB920 claims to have misplaced a copy. Ugh. Please, baby meal and needy mirror, please be short. I'm about to fucking. Oh, Jimmy, I'm about to. Oh yeah. Baby mill. I don't even want to guess right now. I just want to read. I just want to finish this. Euclid. SB918 is to be marked on all maps as an artillery range. And satellite images of the area to be altered to cooperate with its cover story. Any instances of -1 to be shot down by on-site personnel and any instances of. Gotta check if she actually answered. Okay. In 45 minutes. Okay, so if the next 2 ones are short, I will read more of 914. I will give my rating and then read more until the time calls where I need to stop. Does that sound good, body crack, or are you displeased? Any instances of -1 are to be shot down by one on-site personnel, and any instances of -1 that manage to leave SCP-918 are to be tracked and prevented from completing the task. Any civilians approaching SCP-918 are to be taken into Foundation custody and dosed with Class A amnestic. SCP-918 is an abandoned mill located in blank blank. The time and nature of its abandonment are currently unknown, and records do not show any evidence that the mill was ever constructed. All machinery in SCP-918 related to the function of a standard mill is non-functional and appears to have been stripping. It's not been stripping. It's been stripped from metal. A mill stripping would be that would definitely be an SCP for sure. A random fucking mill in the middle of a field, being like, "Hey boys." The interior of SCP-918 is filled with machinery of unknown purposes. That appears to have been constructed from scrap metal. This mainly constitutes a series of intersecting pipes running through the building. However, pulleys and what appears to be engine of a tractor are also present. Every 2 months, 3 creatures resembling members of the Psychonidae family will emerge from the chimney on the roof of SCP. Excuse me, what family? What family is this? It's all about family. Stork. Oh, okay. Instances of -1 will, when dissected, do not appear to possess any skeletons, internal organs, or flesh, instead of being completely hollow. The method by which they ambulate or function is currently unknown. Witness report -1 instances communicating with each other in the form of high-pitched clicks and screeches. After emerging, instances of -1 will almost immediately begin to fly to an apparent predetermined residence located in the country of blank. The residence that -1 flies to will always be home to 1 newborn infant and 2 parents. Upon arrival at the residence, -1 instance will locate the newborn infant and carefully hold it utilizing their talons. -1 will instances will then, still carrying the infant, fly back to SCP-918 and insert the infant into the machinery inside SCP-918. Personnel report a series of loud bang noises emitting from several points of machinery at this stage. After 15 minutes, varying amounts of talcum powder will be dispensed from the endpoint of the machine. -1 instances will then climb into the open point of the machinery. Scans of the machinery at this stage shows that the instances of -1 remain in the pipes for 6 seconds before vanishing. This motherfucker kills babies. This fucking stork, instead of bringing the babies, it takes the baby. You bastard. Oops, nope. That's the wrong one. Okay, How long is this? This is okay. This is also pretty short. Oh god. I almost want to lie down and read from a distance. I can't though. The mouse is not long enough to like. Safe. Revised as of blank 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 due to the data expunged. SB919 is to be kept in a locked storage room with no windows and 2 armed guards at all times. All personnel to interact with SB919 must pass a psychological evaluation. SB919 appears to be an ordinary full-length mirror in excellent condition. It's the mirror from Harry Potter. Once a living subject has been in front of SB919 for 15 seconds, the reflection breaks synchronization and begs for the subject to leave. Not to leave. Oh my god, that's like every person's nightmare with mirrors. Like, oh, what if the person I'm looking at doesn't mimic my movement anymore? The reflection appears to be completely self-aware and has shown to have access to all of the subject's memories. When the subject makes any move to leave, the reflection quickly becomes hysterical. Once the subject is no longer in place where they can be reflected by SB919, the reflection screams and violently disintegrates. Repeated exposures to the same subject have shown that the reflection is cognizant of what happened to it before. Extended exposure to the subject has shown that the reflection has no need of sustenance, though this was detrimental to the subject's mental health. SB919 was discovered after an incident in the town of blank blank. The owner of SB919 had apparently died of dehydration. It is unclear as to when SB919 came into the owner's possession or what caused it to become active if it wasn't already. Local authorities were eager to get rid of SB919. Well, if you take the mirror with you, does that help? But yeah, in the same time, you can't bring it with you everywhere, so I would just turn the mirror around so I can never look at it. Just like quickly, so in the 15-second time, just against the wall, and be like, okay. While SB919 has proven invulnerable to damage, its effective range can be neutralized by merely covering it. Yeah, see, there you go. This result is in the immediate disintegration of any reflection that has broken synchronization. Multiple subjects being exposed to SB919 have behaved as expected. Each individual reflection breaks synchronization and disintegrates at the appropriate time. The use of additional mirrors has been shown to extend SB919's active range because there's more reflections that can lead back to him. Also worth note is that SB919 has no ability for mimetic contamination. Its apparent control over individual is entirely verbal persuasion. Yeah, of course, he's just like, hey, please, man, I don't want that. The use of SB919 for interrogation purposes has been approved for authorities personnel. But because, you know, you have... you put someone in front of that thing, and then you ask the mirror one questions, and he's like, if you don't tell me, I'll move this guy over here to the right. Although you can't be in the same room or standing next to the person that got his mirror, his reflection first to move, because then your reflection will probably start to move as well and have the same problem. Exposing animals to SB919 produced identical results. Of note, 68% of animals showed strong aversion to being exposed to SB919. After initial exposure, all animals showed extreme aversion to being exposed to SB919. Transcript of incident 16. Begin log. It is at this point that Dr. Blank encounters Agent Blank standing in front of SB919. Hey, where have you been? You were supposed to be at the lab blank ago. What gives? I can't leave. It will kill him. What? Who else is there? Him. Who? Oh, that's SB919, isn't it? He's not real. It's just I'm real. Wait, what? Him. I'm real. God damn it! Why are you trying to kill me? Dr. Blank spends 20 minutes trying to talk Agent Blank out of SCP-91's range before calling a security team. Come on, we got the work to do. Don't make it at this point that Agent Blank draws his firearm pointed at Dr. Blank. You're not going to kill him. The sound of gunfire is heard, resulting in the death of Agent Blank and the wounding of one member of the security team. No, why did you kill him? He was trying to protect me, but you don't need him, right? Why are you taking him away? No, he's dead. You don't need him anymore. Don't. SB-919 responds as it normally does to removal of the subject. End log. End of. No. All right. Body Crack, you still there? Ugh. Here. Here's the rating of enjoyment. The Dust embodied was just a really good story. It was definitely very long though. It was a 1.5 hour long story to read through, but I did enjoy it though. I did enjoy it a lot. Oh god, I'm so tired, dude. I need some. Actually, I'm probably not gonna read more 914. Sorry, I did say it, but I need a bit of break before I go back into being crazy with a friend. The Clockworks, yeah. So, from what I read so far, it's definitely really good. Like the concept is just a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure the experiments will be insanely fun to read through. But as I saw, like there is a lot. Like I'm pretty sure SB-914 itself could fill up a whole stream of reading. I'm 100% certain of that. From the amount there is part 1 till 19, and probably every single part of them has 10 different experiments, or like I don't even know what that fuck was. Yeah, it was like 101 till 109, and then it was like I'm pretty sure it's gonna be 110 till 119, so on and so forth. That's so many, and then there's also of course all like the stuff like the questions from fans or questions from or like potential ideas that could be added to it that need to be approved, which means that 914 has probably been increased over the years. Like it probably started off like little, and now it's like this big. Needy Mirror. Honestly, that's like a probably like you know what? I'm gonna jot that down as a potential idea for an SCP short I can make. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use that for episode 6. That's gonna be my episode 6 for sure. Or actually, no, I'm gonna use that for episode 5. Needy Mirror is gonna be my episode 5. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Where do I save my stuff again? Here it is. In the meantime, let me talk about the other one. Baby Mill, that is fucked up. Baby Mill is fucked. It takes the whole like the stork brings you the baby story and turns it around the stork kidnaps your baby and sacrifices it. That is messed up. That's just not okay. Who the fuck do you think you are doing that to a baby? Huh? Who the fuck do you think you are? You think you're so tough just because you're a stork and you can fly? Yeah. Mr. Hungry. I just feel bad for Mr. Hungry. I feel bad for him. I feel bad that he wakes up every 2 hours to get food. He's never gonna have his 8 hours sleep unless like the food is like excuse me. Unless the food is like right then and there ready for him. Which I don't think it is. That's 4 times the daily meal. That is quite a lot. And then we have Man's Best Friend. It's cute, but the fact that the voices are like, "Hey, how about you kill yourself?" It's really nice here, actually. It's a really nice place we got here. Come on, do it. Come on. It will be fine. Autonomous SWAT armor. prick. it's every like current stereotypical officer that we see, like from like in Twitter videos when like there's like one officer that's like super hyper aggressive. That's that. Except with our world, they could understand that how human autonomy works and how to handle a human being without, you know, breaking them apart. This thing probably will never learn. Egyptian Book of the Dead. Egyptian Book of the Dead and Man's Best Friend have similar abilities. Like, basically the souls get captured or somewhere, you know. I just want to, but it's a golden retriever. I just want to pet the dog, dude. Mr. Moon, yeah, I feel bad for Mr. Moon. All the Misters kind of like have a shitty time. They're created by Dr. One Entertainment, and they're like, fuck, I gotta live with this. I gotta live with what I have. Girl, you live like this? The Mechanocerate computer reminded me of a story that I saw Wendy Goon talk about, like this one AI computer that just killed the entirety of humanity except 5 people, and he uses them to like, and he just tortures them for fun. It reminded me of that one, except that in this one, it doesn't seem to be torturing people, but it does seem to do some wacky shit. Okay, that's it. Oh, God. I have to think now if I'm going to read 914 all the tests privately, or if I'm going to make a video out of it. I'm probably going to make a video out of it, to be honest. Would be nice for. I'll do it for Body Crack. I'll do it for him, because he clearly wants me to read all that, and yeah, I'll do it for him. I just don't know where he is now. He vanished. But yeah. Okay, guys. Alright, guys. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Tomorrow we're gonna read the 920s. Whew. The roaring 920s. I hope they're not as long. They're not as long as 910 and 914. Because that shit. If they're just as long as that, it's gonna kill me. It's gonna kill my voice, that's for sure. So yeah, see y'all tomorrow. I wish you a good morning, afternoon, evening, and remember, y'all, the Afro's with you.